It was our leaders that did it for us, and we're moving forward here.
So we're back here, 2 minutes and 36 seconds gone by in the first period. Apologies for a little bit of technical difficulty in our sound department, but Adam Howie got the first goal of the game for the Battle Creek Rumblebees on a stuff-in try on the near side post, and answering right back for the Danbury Hat-Tricks was Johnny Ruiz after that face-off win. The shot from the blue line from Tom Freeman was banged home by Ruiz, who now is improving on what has been a stellar offensive campaign for him here in Danbury. His 8th goal of the season leads the team by 3 now. Casey Bryant alongside Nick Nieder, goaltender for the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and Zach McGinnis, who once upon a time was a hockey player.
Once upon a time. Those days might be a little bit behind me at this rate. Still got the scars and the fake tooth to show for it, though. So.
Well, there you go. Chick stick scars.
That's all you need.
That's all you need.
Carter Shinkarik will be taking the draw for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Adam Howie wins it away, and we were talking earlier about how Adam Howie played with a sense of vengeance last night against the Danbury Hat-Tricks, the team that released him from his contract earlier in the season. He was really, not to use this term, but buzzing in the offensive zone last night.
He really was. He's a hungry player. He wants to show the coaching staff here in Danbury that they made a mistake.
On the near side, back it goes to Nicoletti, who tries to sky it up into the air. It goes off of the midsection of Casper Dearson. Pinching in now is Corey Anderson. Maneuvers to his left. Wrist shot is gloved out of the air by Mullen. Seen all the way and held. 3 minutes and 10 seconds gone by in the first.
You know, Corey did a great job that shift, getting to the middle of the ice, getting a puck on net. He's pretty confident with the puck this year, and you know what? He has every right to be. He's having a great start to the year for first-year guy, and he's earned that right to be more comfortable with the puck on his stick.
Faceoff is won. Back to Martin Tuma. Crosses the way over to Steve Mealy. Now once more across the way to Nicola Levesque, who fanned on the one-time shot. Levesque loves setting up for those one-timers over on that left side circle. Trying to force its way out of the zone is number 22, Ethan Bush Anderson, as it goes now over to the Battle Creek bench. Now back to Steve Mealy. Up the ice to Nicola Levesque, hops off his stick, and Carl Manson is able to play it back to his defender. Gloved out of the air and carrying it up with a head of steam is Phoenix McElroy Scott. Now over to Xander. Up the ice to Manson, spins away from a forechecker and Mealy and sends it well wide. Bush Anderson will pinch in at the far side point. Levesque throws a stick check, but Battle Creek able to keep it into the zone. Mealy carries it up the right wing, crossing blue line, red line, dishes it to Ruiz on his left. Ruiz has Mealy cutting to the net. His shot is paddled aside by Mullen. Now back out to Freeman. His shot goes off the legs of Bush Anderson. He wore that one right in the shin.
Yeah, you can see he's laboring a bit. That one hurt.
Hey, good for him. Way to get in the shot lane.
Here's Freeman once more looking up ice. Lots of room as Gordy Bonnell has it in his skates. Now tries to backhand it down low for Vladislav Gavrik. Gavrik cycles it back now to Bonnell. Trying to lift the stick. Leaves it for Bonnell once more. Bolin Porter setting up in front of the net. Taking a shot is Menton, and that gets fought off by Jacob Mullen. Out into the near side of the zone it goes and lifted up and out by Shea Carey. Turning around is Karndeep Nat as he flips it ahead. Chasing after it is Gino Mini, who himself had a goal last night for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. This one gets redirected off the stick of Carey and into the near side corner. Carey was lurking in that bumper position between the hash marks. He wanted that redirection towards the 6x4 opening. And Battle Creek is doing a little bit of a better job trying to get bodies in front of the net. Last night there wasn't a whole lot of traffic in front of the netminder.
Not a lot of traffic, and there was nothing that they could really do with it.
Slap shot goes off the end boards. Lively bounces flipped out of danger by Corey Anderson. 5 minutes, 15 seconds gone by in the first period. We're tied at 1 after trading goals from Adam Howie and Johnny Ruiz. Up the left wing it goes to Hayden Way, who dropped the gloves last night with Phil Bronner. And an errant pass goes out of reach of Aaron Atwell. He has to recuperate as Alvis dumps it in deep for Tony Lampo. Lampo has to spin away from Menton. Menton turnover now to Howie. Wrist shot pops out of the glove of Tom McGuckin and goes out to the far side circle. And Anderson will lift it up, not out. Kept in. Shot attempt didn't get to the net, and now Menton will send it up to Matthias Kasich. Out into the neutral zone, and they'll go for a change.
Danbury's in-zone coverage is all over the place right now, and because of that, they're having a real difficult time trying to break out.
Behind the net, settling things down is Lampo. He'll leave it for his defender. As a very deliberate pace now to the breakout for Vinny Suzy as he gets it up to Xander. Keeps his legs moving, crosses the blue line, dishes it to his right. Shot attempt is steered aside by McGuckin into the near side midboards. Manson Pinching in for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Throwing a check in the near side corner is Gonzalez. Nicoletti with a shot redirected. That goes wide, and McGuckin might have gotten a piece of it, lost his footing in the process. Nicoletti takes a step in, blocked in front by Phil Bronner. Nicoletti once more with the puck, cycling it down low. Met by Johnny Ruiz and carried up and out of danger. Nicola Levesque lifting the stick, trying to force it forward. It's loose now, still in front of the Rumblebees bench. Now over to Johnny Ruiz. Ruiz crosses the way to Levesque, has it on his backhand, forced wide. Gonzalez at the point, settles it down, cycles it for Levesque. Pressured from behind, Levesque will loop it around. No one was there. It'll be Battle Creek getting to it first. Here's Marget's holding, now getting it across to Nicoletti. Holding in the near side corner. Very slow pace for the breakouts for Battle Creek. They look like they try to wait for that perfect play to set itself up. As here's Levesque crossing the way to Bunnell. Bunnell looks to the net. Bolin Porter couldn't get a stick on it. Here's Tuma. Shooting one, save, rebound, score! Gordy Bunnell! The Hat-Tricks take a 2-1 lead on the rebound.
That whole play started right there for our end zone pressure from a couple big plays there, especially in the D zone. It started. We had Bronner there twice getting in shot lanes, creating havoc at the defensive zone blue line. Got the puck out. Ruiz, Levesque, Bronner got the puck down low, made a great change in the middle of the cycle, kept everything going, and that turned that goal light on for the guys. All that work they did for those 20 seconds in the O-zone really helped.
For Gordy Bunnell, it's his 4th goal of the season. He had a great opportunity just moments prior on the off wing. Couldn't take the shot, but this time, driving towards the net, he finds the back of the net. And Nick, that's got to feel good for the guys on the bench.
Yeah, especially with that created the turnover there at the blue line. Every team does not want to give up turnovers at the blue line. We created one and capitalized.
And Martin Tuma will get an assist on the goal, as his initial shot was the one that was saved. And a chant of Gordy, Gordy coming out from the Section 102 faithful as that puck pounces up onto the near side circle dot. It'll be settled down by Casper Dierson and crossing the way over to Anderson, who will simply forward it ahead. Settled behind by Hayden Way. Pinching in is Tuma. We saw Tuma get a little more involved in the offense last night. He hasn't played professional hockey in 3 years. It took him a little bit of time to get acclimated to the system, but we're starting to see him take a few more chances as he gets more comfortable in the system.
Yeah, definitely. He's getting a little more comfortable here. He hasn't played in a couple years, but again, he is very, very intelligent hockey player, and that's what's going to separate him from everybody else on the ice.
Mealy enters in, crosses the way to Levesque. What a stop by Mullen! Post to post, he trapped it under his right leg.
Great play by Mealy there, getting it over to him. That was right in Levesque's wheelhouse. I'm sure he'd like to get the puck up, but he got it on net. It was a great play by him, but you know what? Hey, give credit where it's due. That was a great save by their goalkeeper.
It was a great save by Jacob Mullen, using all 6'3" of them to get there. Yes, you have a point that Levesque would like to get that shot up, but most importantly, he got it on net. It results in an offensive zone faceoff.
Bouncing puck in between the hash marks. Ruiz couldn't settle it down, and now he has to skate back on the back check. Here's Manson entering in. His shot was blocked in front by the legs of Mealy, and he corrals it and settles up the ice. Here's Levesque, keeping the legs moving. Motors on in on the left side. Tries to wire it down low to Mealy. Has a defensive stick in front of him. It was a good play by McElroy Scott to stymie that play. Back out to Bronner at the point. Long wrist shot was fought off by Mullen. I believe he got a piece of it with the blocker. Popped up, lively bounce off the back of the net. Here's Levesque still jostling for it, lifting the stick, popping up into his midsection, and finally getting it down to his skates. Levesque has Gavrick backdoor, and Gavrick couldn't poke it home.
Great individual effort by Levesque there. 1-on-2, wins a battle, gets a puck out, gets a nice scoring chance out of the deal. Great individual effort.
And Levesque had the feed from behind the net last night to set up Bronner on his goal right in front. Levesque has been doing some great work along the boards.
He's really starting to hit his stride here. You know, beginning of the season, it was a slow start for him. And these past few games, he's taken his game to another level. A great leader out on the ice for the Hat-Tricks.
Yeah, he had a great fight last week. We would have liked to respond a little bit better. But you know what? This happens. It's growing pains. Young organization. And you know what? He's doing a heck of a job.
Well, there's a reason why he's trying to do it all. I mean, he is a player coach. That is an added responsibility to try to lead by example and do things the right way for sure.
best thing is he doesn't change his game for it. He's doing the same things that he would do even if he didn't have that title.
You got to carry yourself like a consummate professional, which is what Levesque is. As Gavrik tries to drag the toe, it's poked away from him. Bonnell now gets it on his stick, takes a stick to the face, and he will nurse the high stick as McGuckin makes his way towards the bench. Ruiz will join as the sixth skater. Long wrist shot, couldn't redirect it, was Freeman. Now an errant pass out into the open ice will be touched up by Battle Creek, and the Hat Tricks will get their first power play.
Guys have been working on the power play here as of recent. Obviously our power play has been clicking as of late. It's one of those things that's been a constant for the club for most of the season here. We have a lot of skill, especially 5-on-4. When the guys are working together, the guys are lighting the lamp. Johnny Ruiz is going to take the draw here. He's been lethal in the face-off circle. And that's where it all starts. We get control so we don't have to get into our set breakout. Just take over control right off the bat.
Nick, you mentioned how the power play is clicking. It's third in the league right now, converting on 26.7% of their opportunities. Meanwhile, Battle Creek, their penalty kill, they still need improvement on it. They gave up a power play goal yesterday. They only kill off 54.8% of their chances.
Ruiz takes a step in, and that shot saved by Mullen. Rebounded, hit off the inside of the post. Ruiz put his arms up, thought it might have crossed the goal line, and the referee emphatically says no.
Adam Howie on the back door there keeps this a one-goal game.
Here's Mealy deliberately making his way up, glides to his right to Nicola Levesque, enters in with Bronner behind him. Bronner, Ruiz, Levesque out there with Casper Dierson and Steve Mealy. Mealy fumbles with the puck briefly, then backhands it into the near side corner. 1:15 to go on the power play to Vinny Suzy, who is sitting in the box for a high stick. This is your Ferrers Electric power play. Let's light him up. Here's Tony Lampo entering in. Backhander, he scores! Tony Lampo gets a shorty, and the Rumblebees even up the score.
That was just an unfortunate bounce there at the offensive blue line. Tommy took a chance there, gave the poke check. You know what? They had a 2-on-0. We had back pressure, but they were coming to the net hard, especially coming down the wing here with support. So took an opportunity at it. Very good play by their player there, creating some havoc and a turnover there at the blue line.
With as strong of a game as Tony Lampo had yesterday, he gets to the shorty here. That's his first goal of the season, but what a goal for Battle Creek. Their guys have got to be going crazy on the bench right now because they just tied things up.
Well, it's a shorthanded goal can be a big dagger into the chest of your momentum, especially as the Hat Tricks were trying to provide themselves a little bit of breathing room. And here's Aaron Atwell maneuvering his way in on the left side, and a rough start for Tom McGuckin as he got beaten underneath the pad side. And I'm sure that McGuckin will want to build his confidence, especially after getting yanked his last start as Bunnell tries to stuff it in on the near side post. They blow the whistle. Are they going to say that they lost sight?
Yeah, the ref was on the back post there. You know what? Nice addition to the club here with Aaron Atwell. He played here before, won a championship in Watertown. Very nice hockey player. Sees the ice extremely well. Very good on his edges. Very fast, explosive power. Hits like a truck. He's a heck of an addition. He's definitely going to help out on the back end and especially on the special teams here.
Well, Aaron Atwell, we've seen him here in Danbury before, like you mentioned, a great puck mover. That seemed to be something that the defensive core was kind of missing or kind of could use improvement at least. Well,
they were playing so many forwards out of position. They had Carter Shinkarik playing back there. Sam Williams, who's a forward by trade, was playing the blue line, who's now in the SPHL as a shot is rebounded out into the high slot. And the Hat Tricks couldn't get there first. And now a potential shorthanded break once more as Levesque has to fight off a player. And now here's a trailing slapper that goes well wide. It was Nathan Margits who got to the puck first. And he had a lane to the net. Instead of winding and firing, he could have just carried it towards the front of the net mouth.
It was basically a 2-on-1 down there as Levesque was caught as the last man back.
We're officially back to even strength as a negative power play for the Danbury Hat Tricks. They allowed a goal.
That's the first shorthanded goal in Battle Creek history.
That's true. Always making firsts is when you're an expansion franchise and they're still hunting for their first points as a franchise, and that could be a big momentum boost for them. And a big confidence boost at that.
Certainly.
Up the right wing it goes, and shoveling it forward is Ryan Alvis. Behind the net it goes. Gonzalez leaves it for his defensive partner, Tuma, kept in it briefly at the far side point, and picked up now with a head of steam is Kendall Bolin-Porter. Brought down from behind is Vlad Gavrik, and he goes tumbling right into the linesman. Picking it right back up is now a shot from Kasich, gets redirected wide. Bolin-Porter doing work behind the end line. Howie digs it out for the Rumblebees, and Tony Lampo, the goal scorer, will try to one-hand it to himself. Kyle Gonzalez cuts him off. 6:40 to go in the first period. We're tied at 2. As we were already scoring at a much higher clip than we once were.
Well, things started off a bit slower in yesterday's game. These guys, in yesterday's game we said they were like two boxers circling each other. Well, at this point, we're halfway through the fight. These teams have a much better sense of each other.
Settling things down in their own zone, Hayden Way maneuvers his way behind his own net. And the Hat-Tricks are letting them set up shop in their own zone. They're not quite aggressively smoking them out behind their net yet.
Not yet. I mean, there's a new system in place. There's a new head coach. Coaching change, it always throws things for a loop a little bit, especially at this level. You never know what systems are going to bring in. So, yeah, there's a lot better pace tonight than there was last night, especially by their club. Our club's doing a much better job on the shots on goal right now. But I'd like to see a few more goals going in, create more scoring chances here. But you know what? They're coming out strong, and you know what? They're a proud group over there.
Shots on goal, as you mentioned, are 13-5 in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks right now. Almost 14 as Dearson with a shot attempt. 2 blocks in front. Shea Carey wore both of those as that gets pitchforked out into the neutral zone.
Stand-up play, and Nick, you can vouch for this. When you see a guy giving it all like that on the ice, it gets everybody amped.
Absolutely. A block shot's just as good as a goal. Big hit, that's a huge thing. It just shows your personal sacrifice towards the club.
Levesque, far side post, a long saucer pass out to Gonzalez. Good job by Gonzalez to settle that down. Once more down low to Nicola Levesque. Banks it off the boards, kept in by long wrist shot, redirected off the stick of Johnny Ruiz and goes into the near side corner with 4:45 to go in the first period.
Nice net front presence there by Bronner.
Well, he's always planting himself in that blue paint. He loves setting that screen, and he is one of the biggest players. As now here's Bronner with a chance on the goal line. He scores! What a move! Phil Bronner gives the Hat-Tricks back the lead.
Not a surprise by this guy for the backhand move. Give him a rough time basically every day about that backhand. I hate when he comes down and does that. But happy to see him finish one off like that. That's a typical Phil Bronner move. Go to the net, use his size and his leverage as a positive. He's got that long stick, very long reach. He can go from forehand to backhand quickly, and he just showed why he's one of the best in the league at it.
For Bronner, it's his 4th goal of the season, and this happens because Nick Levesque is in the right position as well. He's on the back door because of that. The defenseman and the goalie, they both have to respect that. They can't go after Bronner.
Here's Shinkarik on the back door. They score! Matthias Kasich! What a feed from Shinkarik, and the Hat-Tricks lead 4-2.
Being early in the season right now, I think that was the most important goal that we've scored so far this season. There's always a lull after a goal, for or against. Obviously, they're taking their time out right now, trying to calm things down. But you know what? That's a great response there, especially after a goal. Put pressure on their goalie, made him cough up the puck, and we got a fortunate bounce there. Great play, great job by Kasich going to the paint. Finishing it off the right way. And you know what? Again, like I said, that follow-up shift is so important, and I'm so happy that the guys were able to follow up a goal for like that.
And Matthias Kasich, Zach, we've been up here. He's been really smothered a lot by opposing defenses. It's great to see him to get into a prime position to score.
Yeah, and now it's hard to smother someone who's 6'3", but for Kasich, it's his 2nd goal of the season. He found the open ice there, and Nick, like you said, he makes no mistake on it. And we were talking earlier in the game about that next shift, that response that you can get. Well, that's one heck of a response by the Danbury Hat-Tricks. They lead it by 2.
And you know what? That gives your goaltender so much more confidence. We touched on it briefly before, but McGuckin was yanked from his last start prematurely. He lets in a couple goals that I'm sure he wants back. Now he's got himself a 4-2 cushion. That must give you such a sigh of relief, Nick, as a netminder, knowing that your offense is there to back you up.
Yeah, it definitely does. He's not going to grip his stick too tight now. He can calm down a little bit, take a couple breaths, We have a little bit of a lead here, but now it's going to be so important to finish off the period with this lead and move forward.
Turnover now, Bolin Porter fires. It's blocked in front. Rebound is bouncing around. Here's Gavver trying to force it towards the net. It's blocked in front. A stick is loose, and it'll be carried out by Battle Creek. Here's Tony Lampo on the left side. Lampo plays it towards the net. It goes off the end boards. Anderson will get an assist on the goal. Here's Lampo shoveling it to his left, looking for Alvis. It hops off his stick. A let's go hat tricks chant up from the Danbury Hat Tricks faithful, a packed house here tonight to cheer on the black and orange. Into the near side corner it goes. Adam Howie tries to bank it off the boards, and it goes all the way down the length of the ice. Back to retrieve will be Aaron Atwell. No icing on the play. Here's Gonzalez. Making his way up the right wing, crosses red line, blue line, enters in, rifles a wrist shot. That's stopped by Mullen. He tries to keep it alive, swipes at it a bit too late, and he gets the whistle. And we got a media timeout in our first break, and we've already equaled the scoring last night. Zach, we were saying last night that the first period felt like a boxer trying to circle around and feel the opponent out. No one really wants to make the first move. My goodness, what a difference tonight.
You're absolutely right. We've got 3:20 remaining here in the first period. The Danbury Hat Tricks 4-2 with the lead. But how long ago does that shorthanded goal by Tony Lampo seem now? When he scored it, it seemed almost, I don't want to call it a backbreaker this early in the game, but boy, that's something that can really sap your momentum. Not only have the Danbury Hat Tricks responded well with 2 goals, they've even prevented any shots on goal from Battle Creek. Shots on goal are 16-5 in favor of the home team.
And Nick, Billy McCreary, I'm sure, does not want his team to let up whatsoever. I'm sure he's imploring them to keep firing pucks at the net and keep running up that score.
Absolutely. You got to stick with the program here. It's been a process all season. You got to stick with it. You can't get too loose. That's a lot of the reason why, guys, it separates guys from this level to the next. You have to keep playing the right way for 60 minutes, and the more you do that, the better opportunity you have to move on to the next level, because at the next level you have to do that, and then it moves on from there, and that's what separates these leagues.
Ruiz pursuing the puck into the far side corner with 3 minutes left to play in the first period. A 4-2 lead has a big hit in the far side corner, and we'll get a delayed penalty as a result. As that was, I believe, yes, indeed, number 22, Ethan Bush-Anderson, who was knocked down, and we get some jostling now as Kyle Gonzalez wants to drop the gloves.
Somebody has dropped the gloves.
Yeah, it was, I believe that was Carndeep Nat for the Battle Creek Rumblebys. He'll have to pick them up. If you drop your gloves, that's a penalty automatically, no?
It should be, but there's a lot of things that have been happening this year that you don't really see, so you got to kind of just wait and see, similar to last week, 7-minute penalty, on Kasich for a fight, which he didn't throw a punch.
He didn't drop his gloves.
No, he dropped his gloves, but the one that was the most impressive fighting major was the fight between Bronner and Mahfouz, and Mahfouz still had a stick in his hands. Bronner had both gloves on. They just had a scrum there right next to the net. To give them a fight and then to give Levesque a secondary fight, when there wasn't a first fight to begin with, was pretty impressive. Where I was sitting over above the Zamboni doors, you could hear clearly Mahfouz skating off the ice, screaming at the refs, "We never dropped our gloves." It definitely helps boost the penalty minutes,
yeah.
But I don't know what they're calling here from the looks of it.
Phil Bronner made his way over to the penalty box.
Yeah, Bronner in the box for Danbury, Carndeep Nat in the box for Battle Creek, and it looks like we'll skate 4 aside for the next 2 minutes. I imagine coincidental roughing penalties.
I would imagine so.
But
which is funny because he wasn't even the one in the center of the mix. Kyle Gonzalez was the one in the center of the mix.
Also, what's interesting is there was an initial penalty call from the hit in the corner. Where's that?
Oh, that could be, yeah. Out into the neutral zone, Steve Mealy touches it over to Martin Tuma. So open space here, 4-on-4 for both sides. Carter Shinkarik behind the net. Shinkarik was very active offensively, got the scoring going in the first period yesterday with a power play goal, and was one of the best shots on goal generators last evening, Zach.
Absolutely. and now they'll get some more going with it.
And yeah, Mullen got a piece of it with the catching glove. It goes off the glass and is kept in play. 2:15 to go in the period, 1:20 to go in the 4-on-4 before Nat and Bronner are able to rejoin the action. Crossing the way and looking up the ice, Xander. Back pass to his defense. Nicoletti will simply rattle it off the back of his end boards. And now up the ice with speed is Tony Lampo. He's in on Kendall Bullen-Porter, has a little bit of space, tries to beat Bullen-Porter, and a good job by Bullen-Porter and Aaron Atwell to tag team him in the far side corner.
Really like our forecheck there, 4-on-4. Didn't give them a whole lot to deal with there. Penned him in the zone, got a couple changes out of the deal. It was a great forecheck by our guys.
Bunnell enters in behind the defense, has it on his backhand, spins away from Minnie, gets it out to Gonzalez at the blue line, has Atwell to his left, Bunnell down low, Bullen-Porter in front of the net. Bouncing puck is chopped at by Howie and sent out into the neutral zone with 30 seconds to go in the 4-on-4 and 1:20 to go in the first period. And the Danbury Hat-Tricks have jumped out to a 4-2 lead in what started as a back-and-forth affair, and now at least they have some breathing room. But here's Ruiz, sprung for a breakaway to the backhand, stopped by Mullen. Rebound, poked just wide by Bunnell. And now we have some drop in the gloves action as here's Minnie and Ruiz. And Ruiz is tangled up, and he takes a few sucker punches to the nose.
A couple hammer fists coming down there. And Johnny Ruiz, he's not a fighter. So I'm very curious as to what actually started all of that. Meanwhile, Danbury again threatening offensively. They nearly had their 5th of the period.
You know what? That's a great job by Ruiz there, sticking up for himself. You know, he's doing a great job on the score sheet this season. For him to get in the mix there, that's always a good thing to see. You know, he's not doing it because he's frustrated. He's doing it because he's sticking up for himself. Hopefully give him a little more room on the ice here for the rest of the game. But you know what? Great job by Johnny Ruiz getting involved there.
Sticking up for himself. He's giving up 5 inches and 50 pounds to Gino Minnie, who is anything but.
And you saw Nicola Levesque skate over and give a little bang of approval against the glass on the penalty box door, supporting his teammate Ruiz for dropping the gloves.
Looks like Gino Minnie's going to pick up an extra penalty on this as well. So the Danbury Hat-Tricks will go back on the power play with 1:04 remaining in the period.
And they'll hope it goes better than last time when they surrendered to Shorty.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is right now we have 2 guys in the box that are normally on our first unit. But you know what? I have full faith in the rest of the guys that are on the that are getting on the ice here. Shinkarik's doing a heck of a job this year. He's a great addition. Casper, he's a great addition. He's out there right now, a little 4-on-3 action for a few seconds. But you know what? It's going to give a couple guys a little more touches, a little more time, and we're going to go from there.
One-time shot off the stick of Levesque was in between the pads of Jacob Mullen, and he thought it might have squeaked behind him, so he puts his catching glove behind his skates for safety. So 6 seconds to go in the penalty to Bronner and the penalty to Carndeep Nat. And then we'll still have a power play action for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. It just goes from 4-on-3 to 5-on-4.
Hey, Nick, I'm taking a look over at Jacob Mullen. You think that one caught him right above the knee?
Yeah, that's why we have those big knee pads on. That snuck through. Probably caught him on the inside leg there. Those aren't usually very comfortable to deal with, but you know what? I'm sure he's a lot happier right now with a little, physical bruise than a mental bruise by speeding through going 5-hole there.
Face-off will be to the right of Mullen. It will be Casper Dierson out there with Steve Mealy to his right. Aaron Atwell will patrol the blue line and set up in the high slot if they can get it back to him for a one-timer off the face-off.
They forgot to throw a guy in the box there for the extra, too.
Hate it when that happens.
So it will be Maxim Nozgov going over to the penalty box and serving a little bit of a tenure there. Face-off is won, but a bit too aggressively by the Danbury Hat-Tricks, as they'll say it was played by a high stick. So we'll go from one end of the ice to the other.
That's one way to get it down the ice.
Oh, it's inadvertently a great play for Battle Creek.
Perfect.
By hook or by crook.
Got to be aware, though, Bronner's coming out of the box here. He's coming out of the box with a guy that's, not too aware probably. Atwell has an opportunity right here, just chipping the puck out. He's going to hold it off, let Bronner get out of the box, set up our breakout, and go from there. And
Bronner is set up at that left wing at the far side blue line. They get it up to him. He leaves for Mealy, who enters in with more momentum, crosses the way to Levesque. Wrist shot snatched out of the air by Mullen, sprawled out on his belly. Nifty snag there from Mullen, put a little mustard on it after the fact.
Nick, that might be the most aggressive that I've seen Mullen come out and challenge a shooter.
Yeah, it is. You know what? Great play by Mealy there, getting it to Levesque. Got it, handled the puck. Great play by Levesque, getting it off like that. He was labeled. Very good save by the keeper there.
Levesque holds it, looking for that pass over to the near side circle to Mealy. It's kept in by Aaron Atwell. A shot from the slot is blocked out in front. Rebound shanked just wide by Bronner. Couldn't get enough of the meat of the stick on the puck. As here's Levesque holding onto it with 20 seconds to go in the period. Minute 15 to go in the power play. Here's Bronner setting up in front. They score! Steve Mealy! Power play goal and the Hat-Tricks lead 5-2.
Great play by Bronner there. He was tied up with their D-man. You know, you never want to see a player in your D zone. You don't want to have your player tied up. Bronner did a great job tying up with their D. He split loose at the right time, got alongside there beside the net. Again, with that reach that he has, him being a right-hander, being on that side of the post, makes the D commit. Found Mealy there, right, crashing the paint, put it right on his tape. Great play by our power play unit.
For Mealy, it's his 4th goal of the season, and Nick, you talk about going hard to the net. That's why that goal happens.
Yeah, he just drove the net, got his body in the right position, put his stick in the right position. Phil made a great, smart play there, going beside the net, getting the puck on his forehand, finding Steve right up front there.
Well, that'll do it for the first 20 minutes here as the Danbury Hat-Tricks. What a change of pace this is compared to last night as the Battle Creek Rumblebees, I'm sure were leaving last night, leaving the building thinking, all right, we hung with them for a full 60 minutes. We were in this game. Now they find themselves after 20 minutes on the wrong end of a 5-2 score. That's got to be really gut-wrenching for them. Just when they thought they were getting one step forward, they've now taken 2 steps back here in the first.
You want gut-wrenching? The Danbury Hat-Tricks have scored 3 goals since the last shot on goal recorded by the Battle Creek Rumblebees. So, Nick, a question for you is, going into the locker room, I mean, what are you even thinking? You've given up 5 goals in the first period. That's the most goals that the Danbury Hat-Tricks have scored in a period in their young franchise history. And again, now you can't even get a shot on goal.
I mean, that's a tough thing. You know what? You're happy it's over. You're, you know what? As a team that's behind right now, you just think you're 3 shots away from tying the game. That's what you just stick with. You know what? They're a new franchise. We haven't seen them. We're a new franchise. There's going to be, there's always growing pains as a new franchise, but you know what? You're going to see the character on both clubs right now. Right now, what Danbury needs is that foot on the throat, just get it over with. Just eliminate somebody. We have not had that killer instinct just yet. This is a good night to show that we can do that. From their side, they're going to want to play proud. You know, everyone, you know, when you have a tough start like this, it's one of those job on the line type issues. You know, guys are going to be playing for their jobs. From our side of it, be appreciative of it, know it's coming, but you know what, instead of weathering the storm, make the storm. And we have a good opportunity to do that. We're taking it to them on the scoreboard, taking it to them on the score sheet. Johnny Ruiz getting involved there, you know, from a guy that doesn't normally get involved like that. He took a new page out of his book, and you know what, the guys are all pulling the rope the right way. The biggest thing is cannot get complacent. Just stick with it. We're doing a great job. Keep it going for another period, then regroup. But the biggest thing is the very first shift, set the tone for the rest of the night. Give them a reason to shut it down. You know, this is pro sports. Everyone's played junior. Everyone's played college for the most part. They're going to want to, you know, come back. You know, it's a frustrating thing. It's such a mental grind. You know, especially when you're on a club that's not doing that well in the standings, it's a tough day. Like every game, you know, you think back, you know, the one thing, one day at a time. But you know, it's easy to remember, you know, the bad times. You know, this is a big thing for our club. Really get after them. Really give them a reason to just shut it down. But again, take into consideration they're a proud group. They're going to come with everything. They're all going to play with that intensity. But biggest thing for our club, just get after it. First shift, set the tone. And that's, you know, get that killer instinct that we're looking for right now. We have a great opportunity to do so.
Well, speaking of killer instinct, we just saw a B. Pinata die in front of us. That was a decapitation. That was not a fight. That was an execution. we'll let that set the tone and serve as a metaphor for the evening so far as the Danbury Hat-Tricks jump out to a 5-2 lead after the opening 20 minutes. We'll be right back for coverage of the second period of the Danbury Hat-Tricks taking on the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Zach McGinnis and Nick Nieder joining me here. I'm Casey Bryant. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to live coverage of the Danbury Hat-Tricks taking on the Battle Creek Rumblebees here at Danbury Arena. 5-2 is your score in favor of the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Before we bring you the second period, here's Zach McGinnis with your FPHL out-of-town scoreboard.
Well, plenty of action in the FPHL tonight. Through 2 periods of play, the Carolina Thunderbirds, not only did they get the touchdown, they've kicked the extra point. They're up 7-0 over the Columbus River Dragons through 2. Elsewhere, out in Mentor, Ohio, the Icebreakers have a 3-2 lead over the Port Huron Prowlers as Mentor looks to split that weekend series. The Delaware Thunder have a 1-0 lead through 1 period of play over the Elmira Enforcers. The Watertown Wolves and Danville Dashers are knotted at 0 apiece about 10 minutes into the first period. And right here in Danbury, it's a 5-2 game. Plenty of goals in that period. 21 shots on goal for the Hat-Tricks, 5 on goal for the Battle Creek Rumblebees. And Nick, you've been on the receiving end, you've been on the giving end, but you've been on the receiving end as well. Yep. What's the message coming out of the Battle Creek Rumblebees locker room for the second period?
Win a period. That's all you got to do. Win a period. You're down 3, you win a period. Say you win it by 1, win it by 2, win it by 3, whatever. Their message is going to be win a period, play for your job. You're not just going to sit there and roll over and die. We'll see what the makeup of their club is. Like we were talking about in the first period, fresh coach. You never know what systems he's going to bring in. He hasn't made many, I don't think any transactions really in the last couple days. This is basically a tryout for those guys. Go into it, win a period, and then you go, you regroup. You don't want to look too far ahead, but you win a period. You're down 3 right now. Win a period. You never know what the score is going to be after the second. Then you have that same mentality. But for Danbury, the biggest thing is keep the foot on the gas. Do not take it off a little bit. Momentum swings in this game are huge. After that fight there with Ruiz, you want to respond the right way. Obviously they're not backing down, and from Ruiz dropping the gloves, getting involved, we're not backing down. So we're going to see what this first shift brings us, but keep the foot down on the gas.
Casey Bryant, Zach McGinnis, and Nick Niedert bringing you live coverage of the Danbury Hat-Tricks as we begin the second period. As Tom McGuckin comes out behind his net to play the puck, wraps it around the perimeter, and it gets pitchforked up into the air, and Martin Tuma will dig it off of the side of the net and send it out into the neutral zone. Does it have enough mustard to go down the length of the ice? It does, but Mullen will settle it down next to his net mouth. Turnaround try by Phil Bronner gets blocked in front.
Surprised Mullen would elect to play that. They would have had an offensive zone faceoff.
Nicoletti with a wrist shot that gets swallowed up by McGuckin. And the first save is the most important one when you haven't faced a shot in quite some time.
That's huge. Getting a shot like that, no rebound, swallowing it up. That's a great play by Tommy there, getting a touch, getting involved right away here. Don't have to wait too much longer for a shot. That's perfect. Get right involved, get right in the mix.
Meanwhile, for the Battle Creek Rumblebees, that is officially their first shot on goal in the last 14 minutes and 14 seconds.
Here's Howie with a backhander that goes wide of the net. Well, they started off the first period so strong.
Yeah, they started off great.
Yeah, and things just fell apart towards the end. As now cutting off the play is Bush Anderson as Kendall Bolin Porter finishes his check. Along the far side point, it's Kyle Gonzalez, winds and fires a slapper that goes wide of the net. Turnaround try, stopped by Mullen. Rebound goes off his legs. And oh my, what a stop as Corey Anderson was setting one up, and Mullen just got a piece of it.
Yeah, couldn't have given a puck better in the slot there. What a great save, fought through traffic.
That's just positioning right there because Mullen didn't see it coming.
Here's Mullen again coming up big on a stuff-in try on the far side post as Corey Anderson was stuffing it home. Coming aggressively out his neck to play the puck is Tom McGuckin, and he sends it out into safety on the left wing.
Great play by Atwell there, being an option for him. Tommy only had one forechecker to worry about. Atwell presented his stick real nice. Way to come out, way to challenge, and great play by Atwell, though, made that whole play happen.
Gonzalez is hampered from behind and is brought down. Here's Gordy Bonnell, who has himself a goal on the evening. He's got a 2-game goal-scoring streak now on the weekend. Up the ice, it comes to Vladislav Gavrik as he turns around, fires and scores! Vladislav Gavrik buries a wrister. It's 6-2.
Great play by Gavrik there, being a right-hander, coming down the coming down one-on-one there, using the D as a screen, putting it 5-hole on the D-man, especially being right-handed. As a goalie, you have to be aware of it, knowing that you don't have any back pressure. Gavrik made a good head check there. Make sure he didn't have somebody coming from the blind side, but he made the most of his opportunity using this big reach. Not changing the angle of the puck, just changed the angle of his body, got the goalie a little bit delayed there going from his left to his right. He put it where he needed to.
For Gavrik, it's his 4th goal of the season, and Nick, to your point, using the defenseman as a screen, that's so difficult as a goaltender to deal with.
Yeah, you know what, as a forward too, that's a tough thing to do. Use the D as a screen rather than a block shot off the shin guard there. But again, a great play by Gavrik, perfect timing, use the D as a screen perfectly, and capitalized.
Kyle Gonzalez and Thomas Freeman will get the helpers, and it was a great stretch pass from Kyle Gonzalez to spring Gavrik on the zone entry. Gavrik was waiting for it, got it, entered in, and just fired home a wrist shot. And it beat Mullen to the high blocker side. As in comes Nikola Levecki, one-hands it behind the net. Here's Bronner setting it up for Mealy. It goes off of his skates. As Mealy is out there playing the forward lines now with Brett Menton and Aaron Atwell holding down the blue line. Cutting across the goal line, and a pad save by McGuckin on the sharp angle. Out in the neutral zone it goes, taken away by Mealy. He's got Levesque cutting towards the net. Mealy to the slot. Mealy with a shot that's stopped by Mullen. Rebound is kicked out by Mullen.
Great individual effort there by Mealy, using Levesque as a screen there. But the biggest part of that whole play, Levesque driving the paint there, tying up with a forward. Now the goalie has to look through 2 players instead of 1. Had a little bit of a collision there with their player and the goaltender. Got him a little bit out of position. Mealy made a great play. Great save by the goaltender there.
It seemed like Mealy was just a little off balance as he took that shot. It seems like he stood up. He couldn't quite get everything that he wanted on that shot attempt.
Well, Mealy made a great move to the net, and that's the kind of confidence that he brings when he comes up to his natural position as a forward. Here's Brett Menton settling things down, turns it over at the far side. It was a good play by Maxim Noskov to force the turnover on the far side.
Great support by Kendall there, getting back for his D-man, having being a lifeline for him there.
Kasich coughs it up, though, as here's Noskov again puck hawking. Having some trouble escaping is Brett Menton, as once more he coughs it up to Howie. Howie back pass to Steele, one-time slapper, goes off the end boards, rattles around. We're 3.5 minutes gone by in the second period. 6-2 is your score. Long lead pass, almost caught to Gordy Bunnell, but was intercepted. There was a man in between them.
It was a good job by Hayden Way to understand where Gordy Bunnell was, because Bunnell, he's yelling, I want the puck, I want the puck. That alerts Way, oh my God, I have somebody behind me.
Here's Atwell on the left wing with Kasich cutting towards the net. Bullen Porter in the slot, off Bullen Porter's skates. Trying to kick it down to himself as Bunnell shot save. Rebound is kicked out to the far side corner.
Instead of that right-up pass, a good opportunity to use the boards there in front of the benches. They run pretty live. Nice, easy bounce off the boards there. Would have sprung him. Tried to go direct there. Great play by their D-man.
Oh, and almost kicked into the Hat Tricks net. It went off of the legs of Kyle Gonzalez, and Tom McGuckin is there to bail out his defenseman.
Yeah, when you're a D-man in that situation, you want to keep your toes up ice, facing north, knowing what's coming towards your way. Just tough foot bounce there, but McGuckin followed the puck, and that is a great sign right there out of Tommy McGuckin. Staying with the puck, staying with the play, not getting comfortable knowing that your D-man's there. But the biggest part of that whole play was Tommy was dialed in on that pass across the ice. Again, Gonzalez would like to keep his feet a little more north to keep from that happening. But you know what? That's a good confidence thing. It's a small thing that goes a long ways. Knowing that Tommy's dialed in and he's aware of his surroundings. That's a big save for him right now.
So we have a stoppage here as the officiating crew is speaking with our Zamboni crew over in the near side corner. Perhaps wanting something cleared up. Is there perhaps a hole in the ice, are they saying? Or?
No, I think it's the ice, or it's the glass.
Oh, it's the glass? There's a glass stanchion that's down.
Yeah, take a look to the top of your screens where the referees are commingling.
It looks like a city skyline where there's one plane of glass that's a little bit lower than everything else.
And
yeah,
Nick, we were talking about this while we were off the air during the fifth intermission. The seamless glass system here.
Yeah.
Well, that piece of glass is missing both of them.
Yeah, the big thing is up top, the connector piece. It's a little piece of plastic built like a U, actually, from the side. Fortunately, that's a door. right there, so you want to somehow find a way to keep that from going front to back. Another thing, though, is in the doors here, they're playing pretty live. I'm not really sure. I'm not a rink guy. But, as a player on the ice, it is frustrating to see where, a true rim there. Battle Creek tried to rim the puck from their D-man there to go below the goal line. Hits the door, comes back out. That's the thing as a goalie. It changes the way you play the puck. And at the same time, from when you're going back for a good touch, that changes the way your D play too. So it really throws a lot of things off there.
Shinkarik wins the faceoff draw to the left of McGuckin. Trying to wrap it around, it's kept in by Xander. Xander crossing the way, intended for McElroy Scott, can't connect. And now springing Casper Dierson has it in his skates. Slap shot, that's blockered aside by Mullen.
Great play by Carter there, following up, being a support for his D-man there. Got the puck out. Casper was on his wheels there. Had a nice scoring chance out of the deal.
And another turnaround shot was fought off by Mullen as Dierson didn't have a terrific angle to the net, just wound and fired and got it towards the net, and that was a great shot there by Dierson as a bouncing puck is steered aside by Nicoletti, takes a check and loses the handle on the pass as Martin Tuma will recover.
He didn't have the angle. He didn't have the speed either. He waited for the puck to catch up to him, and that really took away his forward momentum.
Oh, he was still able to get it on the net, though. That's a savvy play. As now another lead pass. Here's Shinkarik, who's brought down from behind, and he'll draw the hook on Steele, and both Steele and Mullen are apoplectic.
It's going to be a slashing call that goes against the Rumble Bees. And, yeah, Mark Steele going to the box for 2. But, again, I'm not quite sure where the protest comes from there. As another great job by Carter Shinkarik. He splits the defense, and the defense has no choice but to try and clamp down on him.
He's been a very solid addition here. Great play by Casper there, getting him the puck in stride. He's cutting through the middle. Nice play there, and he's generating a lot of his offense by his speed.
So the Danbury hat tricks will be on your Ferrers Electric power play. Let's light them up with Ferrers Electric. 1:45 remaining in the man advantage, and 5 minutes, 20 seconds gone by in the second period. The hat tricks lead 6-2, would like to add to that. As behind the net it goes. Johnny Ruiz picks it up, the New Jersey, and gets it out to the far side, and Ruiz was tripped up, and that'll be another call going against the Battle Creek Rumble Bees, as Gino Mini will stare at the puck, and the referee will blow the whistle, and it's a trip, and it'll be a 5-on-3 for the Danbury hat tricks.
I'm not really a big fan of the whole give it to him aspect. There's a big push on the analytics thing. Right now with the game, you're hearing about it all the time. You're hearing about puck control. You get Tommy off the ice there. Now we still have a 2-man advantage. No matter what, we have the 2-man advantage. Again, even with the whistle, we have a 2-man advantage. So let's maximize our time with the 2-man advantage. We have guys on the ice right there that are not ready for 6-on-4. But rather than a 5-on-3.
Mealy with a slapper that's blocked by the legs of Nathan Margits, but he can't get it out of the zone. Here's Levesque now on the near side. Levesque has Dierson crossing the way. As Levesque takes a step in, looking for Dierson, can't connect. Bronner, Ruiz, Mealy, Levesque, and Dierson, the 5-man unit. Ruiz with a wrist shot that gets rifled wide.
Good play by Levesque there, knowing their sticks are out of position and taking a shot through the box there.
Here's Levesque, high slot, feeds Ruiz for the one-timer, rings the iron, and it goes out. A loud ping and a groan from the Danbury Hat-Tricks faithful.
Nick, to continue the conversation with the 2-man advantage, it's the second period. Does that change the thinking, considering it takes longer for the goalie to get to the net?
No, because you have your offensive guys at the blue line side of the bench.
35 seconds remaining in the 5-on-3 before it becomes a 5-on-4 for an additional 30. Here's Dierson out to the far side circle. Shinkarik's shot goes off of the elbow of Nicola Levesque. Here's Gordy Bunnell. Back out to Mealy, crossing the Colonials logo over to Levesque. Levesque out to Shinkarik. Every player on the hat-tricks in a shooting position. Everyone is holding on to that puck. They all want to bury one here.
Yeah, that play there by Levesque. Great shot on goal. Great movement up high by our guys. They're giving the guys up high some extra room there. That might come to bite them towards the end, because now when you do have all that room, that's more of a chance for a bit of an issue with traffic in front, because now players are going to be able to move. We'll get our shots through from the points, and we'll be sitting pretty.
Atwell fields the puck, crosses the way to Corey Anderson. Anderson out there with Bunnell, Gavrik, and Shinkarik 4 forwards out for the hat tricks. It's a long shot off the stick of Atwell, goes high and wide. Anderson settles it down at the near side circle. One man is out of the box. It's 5-on-4 for 30 seconds. That shot from Atwell once more directed high and wide. As Mark Steele rejoins the action and throws a check, Anderson gets it back to Atwell, has Gavrick to his left, Shinkarik to his right, dishes it to Shinkarik. Has Bunnell over to his right. They direct it towards him, and Shinkarik will make his way to set the screen. That shot is turned aside by Mullen out to Anderson. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Crossing the way to Vladislav Gavrick. We're back to even strength as Aaron Atwell sends one towards the net, swallowed up by Mullen. Thought it might pop out for a second, and Anderson was ready if it did.
Would like to have Anderson a little more in front of the goalie's eyes there. Being a big lefty, I'd like to see him because his stick's on the inside of the ice when he's facing up ice. Like to see him in front of the net a little bit more there. Who knows what happens, hit you in the shin pad, redirect it, but you have your stick more towards center ice. That's going to give him a great opportunity for a redirection, and on top of it, we have the far side pressure coming to the net for a nice rebound.
And while the hat-tricks didn't find the back of the net on that 5-on-3, 8 shots on goal, Nick, I think you'd be happy with the response.
Absolutely. A lot of energy down in the O-zone there. Yeah, killing a penalty is great, but it also tires the guys out. So, yeah, they did a great job on the PK. Their goalie made some good stops, got some whistles when he needed to. Love our energy and love our puck movement. That's the most important thing.
Out to Susie at the near side point, takes a step in, fires a slapper. That's gloved out of the air by Tom McGuckin, and he holds.
Nice save through traffic there. Nice redirection. Tried to sneak it 5-hole there. Tommy was able to close it up. But circling back to our power play, we're getting the opportunities. That means we're doing something right. We didn't get much on the scoreboard. We got a bunch of shots on goal, got some traffic in front. But the biggest thing there is we are doing the right things. We are generating offense. It's always nice when you score goals, but most importantly, we're getting our opportunities. And, the end result wasn't there, but the biggest thing is we're getting our opportunities, and we need to keep that going.
And you said that killing off a penalty can give you momentum. It wasn't so much killing a penalty as it was just sitting around and waiting for the inevitable, because there was a lot of standing around for Battle Creek, and it was sustained pressure the entire time for Danbury.
Yeah, it's a momentum shift for them. They have something to bounce back at. But, our guys just responded well, got it 200 feet, got a shot on goal, another face-off in their end.
Margits and Ruiz in the dot. Ruiz wins it to his left. Shea Carey trying to lift it up and out. It'll be kept in by the whack of Phil Bronner. Here's Ruiz looking to center it, and it's broken up by Margits, and now a 3-on-1 developing if they hurry. In on the left side, here comes Battle Creek looking to wire it down low and bowling into McGuckin after the play. It was Noskov that was leading the rush and tried to sauce it to the center of the ice. We'll see who gets peeled off of McGuckin. I believe that was Vinny Susie.
Yeah, their guy was going to the paint hard. Good middle lane drive there. Guy crashed in the net. Not the most experienced play with the puck there. You want that guy crashing the net, but you have your F3 coming down the wing there. You give him the puck. He didn't have a lot of back pressure. He had some, but not a lot. He's going to get the puck. You're going to get a hold of it. If it's a good pass, you're going to get it on your stick, get it off your stick, especially being a right-hander going to the net. But you know what? Fortunate bounce, got the whistle. Tommy's safe. Everything's moving forward.
Now, Nick, you said the F3. I am assuming that's the trailer on the play.
Yes, correct.
8 minutes and 45 seconds gone by in the second period as that shot from Howie is under the right arm of Tom McGuckin, and he holds.
Yeah, they had a real good shot off that face-off. A little bit of traffic in front of that. Tommy got a good blocker on it. He's starting to settle in there. It's really nice to see right now. He's having a really good start to the second period. Handful of shots on goal, but the most important thing is he's looking smooth with it. And you know what? That's definitely going to give the guys confidence.
Another shot off the face-off goes right into the ears of the rabbit on the center of the sweater of Tom McGuckin, and he holds on to it. So we'll do it once more from McGuckin's end.
You know, these last 3 shots on goal from Battle Creek, they're the fastest 3 shots that they've had since the beginning of the game. Yep. So perhaps the Rumblebees starting to understand where their offense will come from again.
Carter Shinkarik got thrown over the boards to replace Kendall Bolin-Porter, and right on cue, Carter Shinkarik wins the draw. So Billy McCreary recognized he needed a face-off win, and he gets it in the form of Shinkarik, the former Evansville Thunderbolt. It's a hard check right in front of the scorer's table.
I think that mic might be on, Casey.
It certainly seemed to reverberate throughout the arena. Here's Gordy Bonnell trying to cycle it down low. Bonnell has it in his skates, has Kasich across the way. Kasich jumping forward and can't settle it down.
Great play by Shinkarik there, creating a turnover.
Here's
Another good
Kasich.
play by Gordy there.
Spinning around, has it on his backhand, and you are right, that was a great play by Shinkarik, as Shinkarik once more trying to kick it to himself, has two Rumblebees around him, and still comes out with the puck, and has a backhand pass out to Bonnell. Feeds Mealy with a wrister that goes up into the midsection of Mullen. Well, that's a great shift from Shinkarik right behind the net.
A shame that Steve Mealy isn't a left-handed shot, though. As a righty, he had to reach back for that one. He doesn't have it in a good shooting position. If he's a lefty, that's wired to the back of the net.
Yeah, that's a smart play by Steve, recognizing where he is on the ice, recognizing that Kasich's there right at the doorstep waiting for a rebound.
Puck will get lifted up into section 105 right in front of us. And we'll have another offensive zone draw for the Danbury Hat Tricks. We're approaching the halfway point of the game here. You're watching Danbury Hat Tricks hockey on on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel.
There you go.
I'm so used to doing games on Hockey TV. We were on Hockey TV earlier today, you and I, Zach, calling the Danbury Colonials.
Is that the first time you've done color?
Not in my life, but first time this year.
Very well.
Oh, thank you.
Good job.
I'm a young Eddie Olczyk.
There you go.
Just, minus the Stanley Cup ring.
Amongst other things.
Like the athletic ability. It goes back towards the Hat Tricks net, and Tom McGuckin comes out of his net to paddle it aside for his defenseman, Kyle Gonzalez.
The good looks, the charm.
That later, Zach, please.
Oh, okay.
Over by the scorer's box is Carl Munson. Plays it ahead, trying to get it past Kyle Gonzalez. Behind the end line it goes. Corey Anderson gets it over to Aaron Atwell. Now plays it up the ice to Dearson on the right wing. He enters in with Bullen Porter to his left, and they'll say that it was offsides.
That was a good call by linesman. He was in a good spot. You know what? We're talking about the additions a little earlier. We got received Aaron Atwell with the trade there, free agent signing with Marty Tuma. That is definitely helping our entire back end. Guy like Martin Tuma, Atwell, couple veterans. We were, a lot of guys were getting a lot of ice time before. We have Brownie out right now. We have a couple players out at the back end. Cruiser, he's nursing an injury right now. With those two guys, they're able to log some more ice time. A lot of guys were getting a lot more ice time than they were expecting. Coach McCurry, Coach Blanchette, they were passing the ice time around a little bit. Now guys are going to be able to, instead of trial by fire, they're going to ease their way in there. Last week, this week, with those two additions, especially this week, now guys are getting different looks. Guys are getting different ice time. They're able to maximize their ice time rather than be, can't do too much, can't do too little. Now everyone's going to be able to play their game. And at the back end spot, that's such an important part, especially in this league right now, with only able to dress 6. They're starting to maximize their ice time, and you're seeing our back end play a heck of a lot better, especially with those two additions there. You
mentioned how you can only dress 6. Well, when Cruz Listmeyer and Steve Brown come back, isn't there the stress of somebody's coming out of the lineup?
No, because you can a couple of guys can definitely jump up front. Steve Mealy playing the offensive role right now, or a defensive role as an offenseman. You know what? There's always options here for guys moving up, jumping up, taking that 10 forward spot, even in that third line spot. So that's not a bad thing to have too many D-men here.
9 minutes, and now here's a 2-on-0. Here's Ruiz in with Levesque. Over to Levesque, it goes just behind him.
Like him to be a little more selfish there.
Yeah, he had the open shot on the 2-on-0, tried to set up Levesque, and we talked about it in the Colonials broadcast, Zach, is that if you're able to cross Royal Road with the pass, you exponentially increase your chances of scoring just because you have the goaltender moving laterally. But you do have an open look right one-on-one.
Yeah, especially with Ruiz being a righty. They're coming down the right side. He's coming down the strong side. He has 2 opportunities there. He has his backhand option, which is always sneaky, and he has his forehand option, get the goalie coming across the ice. Mullen's a big kid. Nothing wrong with firing it on net and crashing for a rebound. But with that D made a great play. Give credit where it's due. The D made a great play there on him.
Tuma crosses the way over to Steve Mealy, who tries to pitchfork it down low to Gordy Bonnell. Takes a check from behind from Way, and it'll be carried up the ice by the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Xander leads Manson. 3-on-1 developing for the Rumblebees.
Good
looking
stick.
to cross the way, and a good stick by Martin Tuma. You said it, Nick.
Yeah, that was a great play by Tuma there. Again, everything's hindsight, right, with that 2-on-1 going the offensive way. As a 3-on-1 there, Marty had a good stick. He gave the guy a nice little cushion there and took it away. Great play by him.
Shinkarik dances to his right, looking for Bonnell and just shoving it wide. Bonnell now looking once more behind the doorstep to Carter Shinkarik. He loops it around out to the high slot to Atwell. Takes a step in, wrist shot redirected wide. Here's Gavrik corralling it with 8 minutes to go in the second period.
Love seeing that use of the D-man there by Shinkarik. He's doing a great job there getting everybody involved, and at the same time, Addy made a great play there. Just a little off on that redirection, but it was there. It was a great play.
That's the kind of play where Gordy Bonnell looks to the sky and wonders how in the world did that not find twine.
Well, I think Jacob Mullen had the same reaction. He didn't really recover until he realized, oh, wait, play's still going on, and I don't hear that horn right behind me.
It is strategically placed, that horn, right behind the goal. And was it Jacques Pallant who said, how would you like a job where every time you do something wrong, you get a bright red light and thousands of people screaming at you?
Something like that. I would defer to the goaltender on.
I think I have my history right.
I believe so.
I can quote chapter and verse.
Close enough. I understood. I was picking up what you were putting down. That's all.
There you go. Someone will correct me in the YouTube comments, I'm sure.
We'll get there eventually.
They better. They better.
Face off in the neutral zone as Bolin Porter tries to win it back to his winger, Matthias Kasich. Kasich trying to push it forward with one hand. Good job by Kasich to get it over to Anderson.
Great body positioning there by Kasich. That got us the face-off win.
Here's Anderson throwing a shove, knocking the puck loose, trying to lift it up, and Anderson lost his stick for his trouble. He has to go back and pick it up. And now crossing the way, here's Howie getting the feed down low. He was stick from behind by Kasich, and that will be a penalty on Matthias Kasich as he'll visit the penalty box. But it did stymie the scoring chance at least. Otherwise, Howie would have had a terrific chance right in front.
Yeah, the last couple shifts, little too lackadaisical on our blue line there. When our D are pinching, we need to have an F3. I guarantee you that is being set on the bench right now. We need a high forward. So that gives our D a little more opportunity to jump into the play, keep the puck in the zone. Don't like them being passive, letting the guys, leave the zone. Our guys are taking opportunities at it. We're taking chances. I love to see it, make a big play. But if we're going to do that, we need to have that high forward there as support, limit the odd man rushes.
It'll be a power play for the Battle Creek Rumblebees, and as we often say, if you're going to climb to the top of the mountain, you've got to take that first step. Here's Way in the near side corner, takes a check from Kyle Gonzalez. Behind the net, Shea Carey trying to dig it out. Pinning it against the wall is Gonzalez. Good job to kill some precious seconds as here's Carter Shinkarik. Whipping it out to Bronner, who will skate very leisurely and get it up to Shinkarik almost with a shorthanded break.
Great play by Shinkarik there. Finding open ice, instead of sending the puck all the way down the ice, letting them regroup, getting it over to Bronner there.
Centering pass intended for Steele, forcing it towards the net, but McGuckin paddled it aside. Rebound try out to Minnie. And carried out by Thomas Freeman as he's in 1-on-2, and a roar of approval from the Hattricks faithful as here's Freeman with a sharp angle try, goes off the side of the net.
Great play by Freeman there, presenting his body there, being in the shot lane, creating a turnover. The guy had his head down, corralling the puck. Freeman took a step, got right out there, ended up getting a chance off that because of his play right there.
50 seconds remaining in the man advantage for the Battle Creek Rumblebees before Matthias Kasich is able to rejoin the action. Here's McElroy Scott carrying in at the right side. Xander cutting to the net. Errant pass goes to no one, so Nicola Levesque will wind, fire, and try to send it up the ice. Pursuing the puck was Casper Dearson. He leaves it behind. McElroy Scott drops it back for Manson. Manson will glide across the blue line.
Like to see a little less panic there. Not panic's not the word, but a little more communication out of the guys. Let Nick know that he's got plenty of time there. Eat a few more seconds, maybe instead of a hammer down the ice. Nice, easy, 100-foot play. Just something to keep it out of the hands of the goaltender, especially at that end there. Nothing wrong with a nice, easy sauce pass down the ice. Put it on the goalie's backhand. Make him have to, corral the puck on his back end, have him make a play to his players, and it gets our guys a little more time to change.
Faceoff is won by the Hat-Tricks. Menton tries to wrap it around to his defensive partner, Freeman. It's kept in at the far side point. Howie holds it. Has Bunnell right in front of him. 2 seconds in one. That will do it for the man advantage for Battle Creek. Long shot from Susie is blocked in front, I believe, by the legs of Menton. Menton throws a whack at the arms of Lampo. Lampo holds on the outside hash marks on the near side midboards. 4:45 to go in the second period. Battle Creek trailing by 4, whipping a wrist shot that goes wide of the net.
We need some home cooking on the score sheet there. Get Tommy a save.
Here's Bolin Porter. Well, Tom McGuckin has stopped 9 of 11 shots that have been thrown his way. It took a while for the Rumblebees to even get into double digits. As that long shot, they score! Bar down, it's Brett Menton. 7-2, Hat-Tricks.
Not sure if there was traffic there. Great play by our guy. Getting the puck, taking another couple steps, going to the net, letting one go. Great placement, obviously. Put it off the iron and in, especially on a big goalkeeper here. Going for it. Great goal. Gets him involved, gets him on the score sheet. I believe that's his first goal with the club.
It is.
Hey, there you go. You know what? Why not announce your presence with some authority? Nice little goal there for him. Get him going on the score sheet. There should be a goalie change by now. Thankfully, there is. And you know what? The goalkeeper
yes, indeed.
that was in net here. Hey, you know what? He battled. He competed. Give credit where it's due. He had, he had a couple rough bounces, but at the end of the day, he competed. He worked his tail off. An unfortunate night for that young man, but, we're going to see a new goaltender here.
So Jacob Mullen gets pulled after surrendering 7 goals on 37 shots, and now making his debut for the Battle Creek Rumblebees is Will Harvey. This is his first minutes as a professional in Battle Creek.
Well, it was a great weight off the shoulders of Brett Menton as Gavrick carries it in, has Anderson crossing the way, and the first save as he juggles it to himself, and Harvey is able to hold on to it. But that is a great weight off the shoulders for Brett Menton. He saw a lot of minutes here last night, and you could tell he's coming here from Delaware. It's the second time traded. He was stumbling a little bit trying to find where the guys would be in his own zone, perhaps stuttering a little bit. But getting that first goal out of the way, you feel like he can settle down and start to play defensively a bit better. Yeah,
a little bit there. It's definitely going to be a weight off his shoulders knowing that he contributed on the sheet. Biggest thing is, you don't want that sophomore slump. I call it a sophomore slump all the time when, a guy does something for his first time. You don't want him changing the way he's playing. Just keep going. Maybe, hopefully he gets a little more comfortable with the puck, but that's that fine line. You don't want to get too comfortable. But right now he's, hopefully he gets a little more confidence with it there, and he's able to generate a little bit more here.
3-on-2 if they hurry entering in as Noskov slides it to his left, and a long shot from Carey goes up underneath the neck protector of Tom McGuckin.
Great save there. You know what? That's a sneaky one. Guy coming down the wing there. What I really like there is Tommy held his edges, took it in the chest, presented himself real nice. Got a whistle, got a face-off in his D zone here. Got Ruiz taking the draw, not a bad option.
Actually, I correct myself because McGuckin doesn't have the dangling throat protector, does he? That's not a rule that you have to have that, is it?
No, not in this league.
2-on-1 now other way. Here's Ruiz with Levesque crossing the way. Levesque shanks it wide. And very similar to that 2-on-0 where Ruiz had a look to the net and tries to pass it over to Nikola Levesque.
Levesque was going to want that one back. He's a righty. He's on the weak side. Just puts it on goal. He has it.
Here's Bronner on his backhand. Once more feeds Levesque. This time he scores. Nikola Levesque. Third time's the charm as Levesque is finally able to shove it home. It's 8-2.
Yeah, biggest thing right now is the scoring chances this line's generating. Great play in the D zone, turning into a lot of odd man rushes. Phil Bronner getting pucks out of the zone here. Ruiz obviously using his wheels to generate some offense. Levesque biding his time. He's had about 3 or 4 really good chances here this period, especially after the media timeout. But, hey, give credit where it's due. That line is really generating right now. Offensively, they're doing a great job. Defensively, they're also doing a great job. And all their scoring chances have been generated from the D zone. So they're playing a 200-foot game tonight, and they're doing a great job at doing so.
And now here's Anderson pouncing on the puck, and once more entering back in. There's 3 minutes to go in the second period, and the Battle Creek Rumblebees have surrendered 8 goals. It's the first goal Will Harvey has allowed as a member of the Battle Creek Rumblebees. So he's the next dog kind of thrown in there trying to stop the puck.
Yeah, this is Harvey making his professional debut. He spent the last 2 years with the Niagara Whalers in the Greater Metro Hockey League. 23 appearances 2 years ago, 16 last year. He has sported a goals against average of .521, a save percentage of 87.9. And to your point, kind of getting thrown to the wolves here.
Well, you're coming in cold against a team that's feeling it offensively. It's never a fun task, and it's one that Henrik Lundqvist has always been vocally opposed to whenever he gets a night off, which is rare for Lundqvist. He always hates coming in cold in relief.
Well, when you're making that much money, you have 3 months of off season, so you'll be all right.
Fair enough. But it is troublesome, I'm sure, to come in relief like that, because you have to enter right into game mode like that. I mean, if you're coming in at this point with 22 minutes left in the game, is it difficult to get your body back warmed up, or are you already kind of loose?
No, the thing you generally do during game day, you just stay with your routine so you don't change anything day to day. Then, it just comes natural.
Bolin Porter forcing his way towards the net, and Harvey will pounce on the loose puck and dive on it. And Harvey has not yet acclimated to his team from a pad standpoint either. He's still got a white with red trim set up yet.
Hey, that happens. That'll happen.
I think Chris Osgood might have been one of the worst examples of that when he moved from Detroit to the New York Islanders.
Well, now, are you a fan, Nick, as a goaltender, of like the really flashy, like Garrett Sparks kind of designs on the front of the pads, or like the kind that Eddie Lack has where there's these flashy designs?
I'm colorblind as can be, so all of it looks about the same.
Well, you've got a pretty bright setup yourself. You've got the all black pads with orange trim.
I just told the guy to make me a set and don't make me look dumb.
Well, you don't.
Appreciate it.
If that's any comfort to you.
Appreciate it.
But you've been able to keep this up because you have the set with the Danbury Hat-Tricks. You're set with the Danbury Titans as well with the electric green in there.
Yeah, that's gone.
Oh,
that's gone.
That looked good, though.
Yeah, it did. Well, it's long gone now, though.
Were you a CCM or a Bauer guy?
Brian's.
Oh, Brian's.
Brian's. Keep it in North America.
1:17 to go in the period. Face off to the right of Tom McGuckin. Here's Martin Tuma, has it in his skates, gets it up the left wing to Gordy Bonnell, up to Vladislav Gavrik, and in with speed. Drops it back to Bonnell, over to Gavrik, was behind him. Gavrik tried to one-hand it out of the air as we approach the final minute. And if you're the Battle Creek Rumblebees, you're thinking, thank goodness we're out of this period.
Coming into this period, Nick, you mentioned that you have to win the period.
Yep.
How do you go into the third period now?
Play for your job. That's all it is. Play for your job.
And
you never know what's going to happen.
And here's Manson taking a shot. It goes off of the shoulder of McGuckin, and Mealy was there to tie up the stick of Xander.
Nice save by Tommy. They're fighting her off. It's a big save. He needed it.
Nice move.
Here's Philip Bronner back past to Levesque. Wrist shot. Snagged out of the air by Harvey.
Nice stop there. Levesque found some open space there. Got a nice dish there and able to drive the paint. Make a nice shot on goal, but good scoring chance.
Faceoff will be to the goaltender's left. It's Howie against Levesque. Howie wins it back, and Matthias Kasich is brought down to the ice awkwardly. Levesque calling for it aggressively. Atwell trying to backhand it over to him, and it will be a delayed call as Alvis will get called for the hook as Kasich went in awkwardly against the boards.
Yeah, got away with one there. Kasich got a stick up a little bit on their player that's going to the bench right now. Biggest thing here, though, is just capitalize on the power play. When you have an opportunity, take it.
And look how fired up Adam Steo is on the bench. A bad night is about to get a lot worse.
Well, the reason why he's fired up over there, it's David Nicoletti who's going to the box. He might actually be bleeding from the face because he took a stick up high. The problem for the Rumblebees is that he took a stick up high because Nicoletti lifted Kasich's stick right into his face as he was taking Kasich down to the ice.
16 seconds to go in the period. If there's no scoring, the Hat-Tricks will be able to carry a minute 44 of power play time into the third as Gonzalez, redirection, they score! It was deflected in front. The initial shot from Gonzalez is deflected by Ruiz, and he gets his second of the game.
Great play there, great face-off win. Gonzalez keeping the puck in the zone. You know, that changes a lot of things, obviously. Shot on net, Ruiz, I love where he was standing. Not directly in front of the goalie, like right in his lap, but he was a good stick length out. When you're a stick length out there, definitely easy to change the direction of the puck. You're changing it more than just a few inches. You're changing it by feet. He was able to have a good stick on the puck and gives you a, and at the same time it makes the goalie have to look even that much further outside of where he wants to be. Great play by Ruiz.
And you know, for Harvey, that's now his second goal that he surrendered on 4 shots. Not exactly how he was expecting his professional debut to go.
Nah, you know what? Shots on goal thing, save percentage, especially, you know, in some of these leagues, you know what arenas are a little quick on the trigger there, shots on goal. You always want to play there. It's a good stat night. But realistically, the only stat you're really worried about is a win and loss. And you know what? Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares what your stats are in a Game 3 situation like we're going to have to play in the playoffs, which I am adamantly disgusted at. It's pro hockey and you have to play a best of 3 in the playoffs. You know, you work so hard.
Best of 3 in the finals.
Yeah, well, it's best of 3. Everything's best of 3. You know, all it takes in your season can be over in about 27 hours from the time the first puck drops till the time the final horn goes. 2-game sweep, that's 27 hours roughly, you know. Not a fan of that. But anyways, nobody cares what your save percentage is if you win that last game. Nobody cares. The only thing that really matters is give your team a chance to win and your wins and losses. Coaches don't care what your save percentage is. You know, how many goalies do you see get traded at every level that are on lower-end teams that go to higher-end teams? And it's like, you know what? They were good on a bad team. Look at their stats. Look at this. Look at that. Their wins and losses. Biggest thing is they don't know how to win games. You don't know how to win. You know how to lose. You don't, and you know you give your team a chance to win, but you don't get the final thing done. And you see goalies at all levels, especially at the NHL level. Well, they're on a team that's not as good. They're going to a team that's in the mix. They're fighting for a playoff spot. Nobody cares about your stats. The only thing you care about is finding a way to win. 2 out of 4, not exactly the best thing you have on your stat sheet. You know, you have, think about it, the 2 goals, a couple pretty good scoring chances.
Yes, absolutely. Very porous in front of him.
The 2 saves he made.
Very good.
Scoring chances. So, you know what? Out of the 4 shots that he was credited for, you know, the 2-on-1, good save. You know, the puck that he bobbled in the air, got a glove on it, got a whistle.
For sure.
Hey, settled him in. But biggest thing, though, is the quality that we had in those 4 shots. You know, I don't think that their coach is too happy about it, trying to change momentum, get this kid in there, get him a look, you know, give your goalie a breather. But whatever the case may be, wherever he threw him in, biggest thing is the quality of the 4 shots on goal that we had. You know, Levesque, the other save he made, hopefully that he got credit for. Levesque finding open room, walking right down the middle, wiring one to his glove side. Great save. Great save.
Yeah.
Now, goals that we scored, odd man rush going to the net, score a goal. Other goal that we scored was Johnny Ruiz deflection. You know, Johnny Ruiz stick length out from in front of the goal. Guy's looking through traffic. Ruiz makes a good tip. Shot was going to his blocker side. Ruiz bats it 5-hole. Great goal scorer's play. Yep. You know, nothing wrong with the 2 goals that he's given up. I'm sure he would like to do something different. You know, obviously hindsight, everybody knows that. But, you know, the 4 shots that he got credit for, all scoring chances. So, you know what? He's battling. Let's see what kind of goalie he is. See what he has between his ears this period, 9-2. You don't want to say it, but you got to say it. It's not looking too likely for Battle Creek to come back.
It would be an interesting finale. That would be certain.
In the Mighty Ducks 3, the varsity squad came back from down 9-0 against the Ducks.
Hey, in the social media era, this thing, we could be YouTube sensations. But, I mean, all right, let's just be honest. Likely chance Tommy McGuckin gets his first win tonight. Okay, let's just
hope so.
Yeah, let's just put it on the table. All right? They're walking away with a missed opportunity. And you know what? They have to take it as that. You know, when you're playing the game here, you have an opportunity. Right when you get on the ice, you have an opportunity. Doesn't matter score sheet, rosters. Doesn't matter. You have an opportunity. You're another set of jerseys out there. You're just playing against another set of jerseys. They had an opportunity. They had a lead. We went up 2-1. 2-2 now.
Yeah.
They were pressuring. They were giving back.
It was a really great game for about 8 minutes.
No, seriously, it was exciting. 4 goals, a lot of scoring chances. Here's the other thing that you're not taking into consideration. The odd man rush is going both ways.
For sure.
It got a little more opened up than our coaching staff, I guarantee, would like to see. Not many shots on goal for them, but they're generating chances, and they're getting those opportunities. A couple of them, Tuma, we talked about earlier. Great play there. Had a 3-on-1. Gave the guy a passing lane. Guy took it a little too far. Marty got his stick right on there. Completely, took away a 3-on-1. We go back odd man. They come back odd man. Little too much, too many scoring chances going against. But you know what? Again, new coach, new system. Don't really know what they're coming with. I don't think they really know what they're coming with. We haven't seen controlled breakouts.
No.
We haven't seen a controlled forecheck. Neutral zone, both teams kind of been all over the place. And that's what's generating these odd man rushes. O-zone, high forward. Gotta have a better high forward. Yes, take the score completely out of it. Both teams, I guarantee this period, need to take the score completely out of it because you don't want to get too comfortable with a lead.
And you don't want your play to get sloppy.
Exactly. Play gets sloppy, guys get out of position. That's when bad things happen from every aspect. Guys put themselves in vulnerable positions to get hit. When it's game's a little out of reach on the scoreboard, guys are obviously not happy. Guys are going to run around. You have to expect it. You have to be aware of it. Keep moving the puck. Keep moving north. Not east-west. Keep moving north. Keep everybody healthy. Play the right way. You have no issues. You play the wrong way for a split second, changes everything. Changes the dynamic of a game. Changes the dynamic of the way everyone's playing. So you stick with the program. Keep the foot down. Offensively, don't really need it. Yep. Worry about the neutral zone. This is a game right now where you can worry about the neutral zone. You can worry about your controlled forecheck. Worry about your D zone. You worry about those 3 zones. Everyone's walking away happy. That's wearing a Danbury uniform.
I tell you what.
Limit their opportunities. We're good.
I tell you what, I can recall a game that I was working, it was in the USPHL level, where there was a team that was up 9-0 at one point, midway through the second period. They had 1 shot on goal registered for the remaining 30 minutes, because they would just skate over the red line, dump it in, and just work on their practice of defending breakouts. Yeah. And it was like the definition of insanity. The other team kept trying the same thing, and they got a ton of practice of, hey, they're making an outlet pass over to the wing to a stationary guy. Throw the check, dump it back in, repeat.
It's one of those things where it's another set of eyes, it's another set of jerseys out there. I hate when games get like this, lopsided score. You never like to see it because something's bound to, accidents happen, things happen. You kind of let your guard down, put yourself in a bad position, or, whatever the case may be. I hate seeing the lopsided games. I love seeing, I'd rather right now be up 3. A lopsided game, coaches don't like seeing it. But at the same time, from that side, you like to see what kind of character your guys have. You like to see guys stay with the system. You like to see guys sticking with the process. Their side of it. From Battle Creek side, you definitely don't want to be in this position being down. But now you have an opportunity, a new coach. You know, remember I said play for your jobs, you play for your jobs. Now guys do get to play for their jobs. You get to see the character, you get to see the body language by guys, and you know what? Use it as a positive. You know, maybe coach, they have a long trip tonight. Coach sees something he doesn't like. He's working his phone the whole way back.
That's true.
You know, he's starting to look at those emails that he's getting from players. He's starting to now take a second look at some of those phone calls and voicemails and emails that he's getting from agents. Guys are going to get opportunities. So you play for your job, you stick with your system, you do your job, and everything else will work itself out.
You bring up an interesting point, Nick, because as Battle Creek, clearly they'll have to make some changes going forward.
Yes.
But do you think it's more of a coach looking at players or players looking at a coach trying to get themselves up to this professional level?
A lot of 1,000-yard stares right now in that locker room. A lot of 1,000-yard stares. By that meaning you're just sitting there looking off into space and you're having a mental war with yourself. And, you know, you're going to see what type of character guys have. You're going to get to see the type of character your line mates have. Your line mates are going to get to see the character that you have. You know, it's an unfortunate situation to be in. But at the same time, from the Danbury side, you start to learn how to respect your opponent. You don't want to, you don't want to be on either side of this, but you know, you make the most of it. You know, you play the right way. You show respect by playing the right way. You know, it's a fine line, but you know, Coach McCreary's been in the game forever. You know, since he was a kid, his old man, National Hockey League player. You know, Coach McCreary's been in the game for a very long time. Family rich, or you know, with the game. He's going to continue to want to play the right way. He's going to, you know, just jam it in the heads. Play the right way, because bad habits, you know, happen. You don't want to look too far ahead, but we know who we're playing next week. You know, we know it's not an easy opponent, not an easy place to play. You play the right way just so you keep that switch on. It's not one of those things where you have a switch. You know, it just stays on. And that's the most important right now. Keep everybody playing the right way. Everybody will be healthy. Tommy McGuckin, stay in his zone right there. You know, he keeps to himself. He keeps in his own. He's going to be just fine. Don't get comfortable with a lead like this. You know, finish the job. 20 more minutes. You know, he gets his first win in North America. Gets a little relaxing time. You know, Dylan's been playing quite a bit as of late, but it gives guys confidence. You know, has a win under his belt. You know, move forward. And now he's going to be able to take that, you know, little breath. You know, we saw it, you know, in the first little bit there. Pucks were bouncing off him, not the way he would have liked. You know, tough first shift there. You know, they were able to generate a goal, but now it gives the guys two goalies that have wins. Everybody's a little more comfortable, but not complacent.
Oh, you've gone from a position where if you're Tom, you're thinking, oh no, here we go again. Now all of a sudden you're cruising. I mean, it's such a change of dynamic.
Yeah, keep it on cruise control. Which he is. You know, look at the saves he was making there. You know, bring up that puck off Gonzalez skating. You know, if he was a little comfortable there, 6'2" at the time, right? Yeah. You know, little things go a long ways, and that was a little thing that's gone in the right direction. You know, it's one of those nights where, you know, it wasn't going well. Came out in the second period from a goalie aspect, got that nice touch. That shot through a little bit of traffic from out high, able to corral it, get a whistle, take that breath of fresh air because, you know, like he said, 13:25, I believe it was.
Yes.
You know, until he had a shot on goal. So it was nice to get that touch, and it was a controlled touch too. You know, a lot of guys just want to get that touch the puck and have a comfortable touch. and then that kind of relaxes you. You know, you don't want guy dumping the puck in and you bobble it, or, you know, a rim around the boards, hits your stick, and it's a party favor. You know, you don't want that, but he was able to control, and everything was just smooth sailing from there.
R.A. Dickey, who was a knuckleball pitcher for the New York Mets, won the Cy Young in 2012 when he was toiling in the minor leagues. He mentioned that to make himself feel better after a night where he got shelled, he would look around the league for other box scores to see, all right, who had a worse night than me? And that gave him comfort. After a rough night, like if you're the netminder for Battle Creek, you have a 16-hour bus ride home. Is there anything in particular you would do to try to get your mind off of things or try to put yourself at ease?
You know what? That's a tough one to answer.
Did you put on music or something?
No, it's a tough one to answer. Obviously, I made it pretty known about my issues, off the ice this summer in June. You had those demons for years. Robin Leonard this year, won his awards. He made his, the mental side of it. It happens at all levels. It starts in junior. You have the depression aspect. You have the, you have all these things going through your head. Long road trip like this, when this happens to you, you have to find a way to move forward. And for some guys, there's always a way to do it. There are guys that, look for solutions in the bottom of a bottle. There's guys that look for solutions, like you said, fire some music on, maybe you try to forget about it. There are guys that, you don't laugh it off, but you kind of make a joke out of it. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Every human being's different. Everything goes through your head differently. Some guys are harder on themselves than others. It's the one thing that you want to do, though. Any athlete after a rough night, you want to get back out there. Get thrown back in there. Just forget about it. The worst part about it is, like I said, the mental fight with yourself is at every single level. I was fortunate enough where I had the PHPA. I have my PHPA card from playing in the ECHL. I got to reach out to some people and, have some talks about, this was off season when, I was going through everything, and, it was nice to get some feedback by a complete stranger.
Sure.
I've had a coach say this once years ago, the most important person on a hockey team is a player's wife or their girlfriend because they hear about it. They are the shoulder to cry on. They are the one that hears everything. And, you need an outlet. You need a vice. Last week, for example, we played Elmira here. Troy Passingham, pretty good goalie.
Yeah.
He's up there. He played in the finals last year, arguably one of the best goalies in the league last year. Got shelled a little bit. They threw him right back into the mix the next night.
And he was great the next night.
Yeah, had a great game. This young man, he's going to want to get back out there. But at the same time, getting away from it for a couple days. But again, the road trip aspect, that's not easy, to have a tough night, get on the bus. I mean, it just all depends on how you handle things. If you handle things the right way, there's a lot of ways to handle it the wrong way. But like I said, every person is different. There's no right or wrong, because if there was, I wouldn't have had 20 years of rough bus rides. It's one of those things where you take it in stride and you move on from there. Biggest thing this young man can do is move on. Be aware of what happened, but move on to the next one. And that's a big thing for this week of practice.
One of those guys who has taken those long bus rides for many years like you have is the man sitting over to our left in the broadcast booth for Battle Creek, Terry Ficcarelli. Fick, who's a legend over there in Michigan hockey. He's been at it for, 47 years now?
Yeah, he was our broadcaster over in Muskegon there. Yeah, he does a great job.
Yeah, and he comes dressed to kill, too. He's got the three-piece
Oh,
suit on
yeah.
tonight.
No. Terry is not one to not dress well. You know what? He is a professional.
Yeah?
And, you know, you have a conversation with the man. He's a good man, great man. Loves his job, loves the guys that, he works with. You know, that's what's kept him in the game for so long. But he's a great, great man. He's very professional. There's not much that man has not seen. Let's tell you that right now.
Or when you're around the game long enough, right?
If Terry can say, I've never seen that before, trust me, you're seeing history. Great man.
Mark it down on the calendars.
That's true.
Oh, absolutely. And you try to record that thing, too.
And we were talking with Adam Steo before the game yesterday, and we were mentioning that Fick, we were trying to, get him accommodated and everything. And Adam goes, oh, Fick is great, but he always makes me look like such a slob when I walk into the office because I always come in with the dress pants and I think, all right, I look good today. And then immediate confidence shot.
The guy looks immaculate over there. He is a legend in hockey.
Does he look like Chico Resch to you with the mustache?
A little bit. A little bit. And he might have been around. He might be around hockey longer than Chico's been. But it's fantastic, especially here at the Federal Hockey League. This is a league that's becoming more and more established. Nick,
Absolutely.
You've been around long enough. I remember a season here with the Danbury Whalers. We had 4 teams in the league.
Yeah.
And the growth, you know what? You bring in these hockey guys, these hockey lifers, these guys who have been around forever. And it's the history that they can share, it's the stories that they can share, but it's the experience that they can share as well. It's something that really makes hockey special, especially at this level.
Yeah. The 4 teams in that league, one of them, obviously one of the towns is not with hockey anymore with Dayton.
Correct.
But, Danbury, Watertown, Danville, they kept it going there. They're doing a great job. Those 4 cities kept this league going.
They really did.
And look what it's done right now. There's 10 teams, 200 guys with jobs.
Soon to be 11 teams.
Yeah.
At least.
Possibly 12. You don't want to look too far ahead, but right now we're at 10. Means there's 200 players right now. 200 opportunities. And you know what? That's great. It's growing the league. SPHL, they've stuck with their teams here for a while now. They're doing a great job there. ECHL, great job. The minor pro game is doing a great job right now. And it's great to see.
And it's still growing. We'll have the Seattle NHL team beginning in 2 years. Palm Springs will have an AHL team. And when you have 2 teams like that, I guarantee
Not to cut you off here, but Kasich's now joining Ruiz and Bronner. I think we're going to have to see some fireworks here coming from the game.
Could be a good eye, Nick. Let's see what happens. Here we
go. As Matthias Kasich, you called it, squaring up with Shea Carey. And Kasich wanted it, and they get tied up. Carey throws a hard left. Now swinging with the right hand violently as Kasich drags him down to the ice. So Kasich didn't throw a punch, but he does come out on top. And Carey has his sweater up into his shoulders, up into his armpits. Now we saw some bad blood, and Kasich is laughing on his way over to the penalty box.
Looks like the tie down on Shea Carey's jersey got broken. The equipment manager will have to take a look at that after he gets back from 5 minutes on a whistle.
You know what? Shea Carey, one of the older guys on that franchise over there, doing something to spark the guys a little bit. Don't mind it. Don't mind it at all. Kasich, great job there getting involved. Good fight. Try to spark the guys. Kasich there getting involved. I like it. Big body, and hopefully kind of rejuvenates him a little bit here.
Hey, Casey, we were talking at the beginning of the year what Danbury hockey is like.
Yep.
We're starting to see it come through.
Absolutely. Now, when you're in between periods like that, do you think Kasich voiced saying, I want Carey for the next period? In the locker room, how does that come about at the start of a period like that as Levesque has a shot go off the catching glove and a rebound off the side of the net?
I mean, I don't know. At the start of the period there, maybe they had words, in the intermission there, coming off the ice. You never know what it is. There's so many things that happen down there that you don't hear or see up here.
Yeah, and Casey, to your point, that conversation, it can happen at any point. It could
That's
happen
true.
when they hit the ice. It could happen before they leave the ice.
Well, I'm asking specifically because Kasich is not on Ruiz and Bronner's line, so clearly he must have made it known that he wants to be out there at the start of the period so that he can square off with Carey.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Things happen.
Have you ever been involved in anything like that, Nick, as a netminder?
Yeah, quite a few times. Game was different then. Game was different.
Little bit.
How do you think you are as in fisticuffs?
Do all right.
Yeah?
Do all right.
All right.
Watch,
He holds his own.
What do you think your fight card is?
It's long for a goalie, but I've also done this a long time. So
Well, do you have a winning record?
I do all right. Yeah.
All right.
Do all right.
Well, that's the important thing. Again, it goes back to your comment. All they care about is wins and losses, right?
Yeah.
That's-
But you know what? In a scrap, you show up, you win. Hey, that's the way I look at it. Guys are doing it for their teammates. It's not junior anymore. You're not doing it for the fans. You try to get the fans going and you score a goal.
Well, also, as that slap shot goes off of the end boards, as a netminder, I'm sure showing up is part of the battle, and the other part of the battle is don't get one-punched like Rick DiPietro and Brett Johnson.
Yeah, that was a tough one for Rick.
That basically ended DiPietro's career.
Well, that and many other ailments.
Well, yes.
There's a reason why he goes by the name Humpty in his radio career. Humpty Dumpty has to be put back together again. As we're 2.5 minutes gone by, and Atwell has 2 different Rumblebees around him, and he has to step away from the danger as out into the neutral zone it goes. Long lead pass intended for Xander is out of his reach, and they will whistle it down for an icing.
I think Humpty Dumpty's getting paid through 20, 33, 34.
He's doing okay for himself.
Yes.
Let's say financially he's doing all right for himself. But back to that fighting thing, the game has changed dramatically. There's so much more knowledge with the head issues. There's so much more to this game right now. Again, you don't have that one guy that does it anymore. You don't dress enough players. When you have 18 skaters, everyone plays. You can't have a waste of a uniform out there. And that's why, at this level, I love, the spur of the moment scrap. Nothing wrong with it. But again, when those fights happen, guys are doing it for their teammates. They're not doing it for anything else.
As the puck gets forwarded over towards McGuckin and cut off by the Danbury defense, and, the John Scotts are kind of going by the way of the dinosaur, where they're non-existent. Although that doesn't stop Billy McCreary. I distinctly remember my first day on the job here in Danbury. McCreary comes walking into the office, and one of the first things he did is he pulled up a picture of him knocking out John Scott in the USHL.
Yeah, that was North American League. I remember.
North American, yeah.
North American League.
So those bouts, when you do go up against one of those dinosaurs, and you take
game
down
was
one of
different.
the
Game was different.
And that's a point of pride for McCreary. And honestly, McCreary was asked the question from our junior reporter yesterday. How do you feel about fighting? Fans love it, but how do you feel? And he said it's a part of the game. He certainly doesn't shy away from it because that's who he was as a player. As here's Ruiz on the goal line, back pass intended for Bronner. It might have been poked away from his stick. And again, it goes back to the beginning of the season. Who are Billy McCreary's favorite players? Wayne Gretzky, Darcy Tucker.
Hey, not for nothing, for Billy McCreary, it's not every day you win a fight against an all-star in John Scott.
That's true. And he still drives the truck he got as
All-star
the All-Star
MVP. He's a beauty. Nice job.
And John Scott was telling a story on his podcast the other day as Ruiz feeds it out to Levesque in the slot and forces a backhander just wide. Stuff and try on the far side post. Poked wide again. Bronner had a stick on it. And he was telling a story on his podcast where there was a preseason game, the famous line brawl between the Sabres and Maple Leafs, where he lines up next to Phil Kessel. He knows he's got to fight someone as that wrist shot gets rifled wide. And he leans over to Phil and goes, "Phil, I'm going to jump you." And Phil goes, "What?" Puck drop, gloves down. Phil runs away trying to whack at him with his stick. And John then has to fend off 3 different Maple Leafs in that game. That's a famous fight.
Well, you don't go after Phil Kessel like that.
I just love the idea of leaning over and going, "Phil, I'm going to jump you." And the look of horror as his eyes become saucer plates.
See, Phil Kessel, not exactly the best when it comes to the pugilism. I'm reminded of the line brawl between the New Jersey Devils and the New York Rangers, where the Rangers have Stu Bickle, defenseman, as their starting center.
And Jody Shelley was on that line as well, I believe. That was the late 2000s New York Ranger team.
Nice job by the fan there. Grabs the puck off the protective netting. Put that in the pocket. Hold on to it.
There you go. Well, when you sit up there in the 200s, you're right on top of the ice surface. You have live pucks coming up towards you, and you can walk away with a souvenir. You see a lot of kids hanging over the railing over there on the opposite side when the puck goes back over towards the Battle Creek net. You'll see that we have the Western Junior Colonials, the Pee Wee team in-house at the Danbury Arena, taking in the game. They scrimmaged briefly as, down on the ice is Corey Anderson. And he gives
there you go.
And now here we go again as Carter Shinkarik gets tied up with Xander.
Yeah, this is a fight that needed to happen. Anderson took a little bit of a hit from behind there. This isn't one of those staged ones. This is a good fight here. I love the fact that Carter, gets involved for his line mate there. That's why it stays in the game. Right there, that's why it stays in the game. Holds people accountable. Corey got hit from behind there. Great job by Shinkarik getting involved. Great job.
Oh, Nick, to your point, you don't do it for the fans, you do it for your teammates. Yeah. That's exactly what Carter Shinkarik did there.
Absolutely. It wasn't staged. That was an emotional scrap, spirited scrap. Might get the instigator out of the deal, but you know what? 2 minutes, you're going to kill that all day. When you see one of your players get hit like that, you got to get involved. You got to get in there. Great job by him. And the best part is he's not known for that.
No.
He's a guy that gets on the score sheet in the goals assist column, the plus column, not the major column. But you know what? Great job by him getting involved there. Same time though, you got to know when guys are coming. Don't want to put yourself in a vulnerable position, like we spoke about earlier. But nonetheless, great scrap. That's what you need to do. We've already had 2 scraps this period. That one was needed. That scrap right there was definitely needed to get a power play out of the deal. They ended up not giving him anything extra for it, just a 5. But great job.
Well, to your point, they do get the power play out of it. Not only does Carter Shinkarik avoid the instigator penalty, but it is going to be a Danbury power play. Malcolm Sanders going to get the extra 2 minutes for boarding for the hit on Corey Anderson that started all of this.
Yeah. That's the way the rules go. If we got an instigator out of the deal, I wasn't going to be surprised. I wasn't even going to be frustrated. I'd rather kill that 2 minutes than and have that fight rather than have nothing happen, no response.
It's easier to deal with that, though, when you're already up by the margin that the Danbury hat-tricks are.
Yeah, but at the same time, that should happen in a 0-0 game. You see a player like that get hit, you answer. And that's a penalty right there. That's a 5-minute seat for him that you're willing to trade off rather than, have it happen to another player. If, there's no response, who knows? Who knows what'll happen? So I love the fact that there was a response, and that was hopefully we respond the right way by burying one here.
On to the power play go the Danbury Hat-Tricks, and Section 102 is alive and well down there by the visiting bench as they applaud the fight. And we see a Bobby Clark jersey down there. That gives you a sense of what Section 102 likes to see on a nightly basis as Bronner gets it out to Mealy in the high slot. Mealy wires a wrist shot that never got through. It was
great
blocked
play
in
by
front.
Ruiz there. Guy thought he had some time. Great stick there.
Ruiz with a one-timer that goes wide of the net. 5 minutes and 45 seconds have gone by in the period. 90 seconds remaining in the power play. Good play by Ruiz to force it. Ruiz looking for the hat trick. He does have 2 on the night so far. No one's gotten a hat trick yet in Danbury hat tricks history, but there has been a Gordie Howe hat trick.
There has been a Gordie Howe hat trick, and Casey, when a Danbury hat trick gets a hat trick, I hope you have something good in the tank for that one.
You keep saying that like I have these canned catchphrases. I don't know. I don't believe in like the soundboard stuff, Otherwise, who does that a lot is like March Madness, where like when Kentucky advances to the Elite Eight or something, you'll hear the announcer go, and the Elite Eight is their old Kentucky home, and it comes off really corny.
That's lame.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
48 seconds remains in the power play. The faceoff will be in the Battle Creek zone. The Hat Tricks have out their second power play unit in Bonnell, Bolin Porter, and Gavrick. Anderson and Atwell will complete the 5-man unit as Atwell backhands it, pitch and catch with Gavrick. Atwell to the bumper position to Bolin Porter. Gets it over to Bonnell, who plays the perimeter, wires it over to Gavrick with a one-time shot. He scores! Harvey got a piece of it, but not enough. It's Gavrick with his second of the game.
First time we get to double digits here with the Danbury Hat Tricks. It's 10-2. Another power play goal, another one for Gavrick. Gavrick is now his 5th goal of the season. And boy, Nick, we were talking about responses, everything else like that, everything going the way of the Danbury Hat Tricks.
Yep. Everything's going the right way. Now we're going to see Freeman taking a draw here at center. It looks like he's going to see what we're dealing with him as a forward. We'll see what, like we talked about earlier with the D-men that are in the stands right now. You need to find room on your roster. So keep him in the lineup. He's getting an opportunity as a forward here. Hopefully he makes the most of it. He's a great kid. Plays right away, works extremely hard.
And now a shot in close by Kasich, who is back out on the ice after his tilt. Got a shot to the net, and that was fought off by Harvey. Well, for the first time, as you mentioned, we are in double digits for the Danbury Hat Tricks.
Okay.
A franchise first, and I wish we could say it was the first time that it was the Battle Creek Rumblebees allowed double digits, but unfortunately it's been a defensive nightmare to the start of their season, as should the score hold, of course, it would be an 0-11 start, which is up there with among the worst in FPHL history. I'm reminded of Danville's start back when they first came into the league when they were 0-13.
Yes, Danville had a real bad start to the season. I believe it was also the Dayton Demons, but I'm guessing on that. There's another team that started off 0-12. Maybe the Steel City Magic, or the Steel City Warriors. Back again in the days where we didn't have 10 teams in this league.
Into the near side corner it goes. Freeman gets it out to Gonzalez, who crosses the way to Nicola Levesque. And Levesque over to Ruiz. And I got to be honest, it is a case of Billy McCreary where he's got 10 goals on the board, but he's still sending out his top units for a lot of minutes, mostly because you want to fine-tune the offense, I'm sure, and you want to make sure everyone really drills into the system. But also, the roster is still very much in flux. There are still cuts being made, trades being made. You still have people that need to prove to you that they can play a full 60-minute game as Ruiz rifles it into the glove.
You have to take into consideration, we're, after tonight, 10 games in, 500 hockey club.
Yeah.
That's not, you always have room for improvement. Excuse me. So, guys are still, you don't have a job until the season's over. Then you had your job for the whole year. You have your opportunity right now, but, everyone's playing for a job every single day, and that does not change. You play like it's 0-0 for 60 minutes, nothing changes.
Yeah, and, especially here at the professional level, I'm not sure if the concept of running up the score really existed. This is their job. This is what this is what they're getting paid to do.
No, it does not exist, but at the same time, you have to be aware you do play these guys again.
And the anger that can survive, the anger that can just linger after a game like this.
Exactly.
Here's Gavrick getting it up to Kendall Bolin Porter, who has it roll off of his stick. Nicoletti back towards Menton, can't field it cleanly, but he shields the puck away from Manson, who was streaking into the offensive zone. 10 minutes, 30 seconds gone by in the third period. A reminder that you are watching Danbury Hat Tricks hockey on the Danbury Hat Tricks YouTube channel. A reminder to follow the Danbury Hat Tricks at Danbury Hat Tricks on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for exclusive live coverage of the Danbury Hat Tricks every game night, behind-the-scenes footage, interviews, and more. Sign up for our mailing list at danburyhattricks.com.
Got Freeman back at D there, going back to his normal position. You know what? That shift at forward there looked pretty darn good. He looked good with the puck there. He made good decisions. That's something you like to see. You like to show some versatility right now, and he did a great job with it.
Getting a glove on it in front was Harvey, and he holds onto it as sprawled out headlong as Corey Anderson, as Corey Anderson's been up and down in this period.
He certainly has paid a physical price in this game, has Corey Anderson. Good to see him back out on the ice after getting hit from behind. Doesn't seem any worse to wear.
No, it's good to see. You know what? When you're getting involved there, you're getting in those dirty areas, you're playing the right way. That's the way I look at it. When you get when you're playing it and you're getting those extra hits to the face in front of the net, you're getting an extra stick on you. It's because, one, you have the puck, and two, you're getting in those dirty areas, and he plays the right way.
We have a media timeout as once more Corey Anderson goes down to the ice. I'm reminded of Scott Hartnell when he was in the NHL. He had his charity based around the fact of how many times he was knocked down to the ice and how many times he lost his footing. And every time he lost his footing, he would donate money.
I did not know that, but for Hartnell.
The Hartnell Down charity, yeah.
That's
they started
fantastic.
a charity about it, him and his wife, and it's really taken off. They're doing a great job with it. It's good to make light of a funny situation, but you know what? They're doing a great job with the charity and the foundation, and it's just gaining strength, gaining funds. They're doing a great job.
Well, we've reached the media timeout here, and we're 9 minutes and 59 seconds away from another home victory. This will be the first sweep in franchise history for the Danbury Hat-Tricks in a weekend, and it comes ahead of what will be a monumental tilt next week as they have a Wednesday night game and then Friday and Saturday against the Elmira Enforcers, a team where they split last weekend, but it was very feisty, very physical.
It was feisty, it was physical, and you mentioned the split, but the split was so different. The first game, the Danbury Hat-Tricks win by a score of 7-3, and then they give up 8 goals the next game. So now, especially going up to Elmira, you're there for 3 games, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, a bit of a different, or a bit of an interesting look on the schedule. The Hat-Tricks, as happy as this game is, they have to realize there's a much bigger test coming up.
And some nice smatterings of applause for Tom McGuckin as he athletically leaps up into the air to grab the puck out of the air. And Nick, you played in Elmira last year.
Yep.
What can the Danbury Hat-Tricks expect in their first trip upstate?
Wednesday night game, kind of, you don't really worry about the fan aspect of it. You worry about what they're going to bring. They bring a tough team. They play a 200-foot game. They have one of the guys in the league that he's been up there on the score sheet for years, and that kind of, moves the team in that direction. He plays a tough game. He scores goals. He chips in on the score sheet. He chips in away from the puck too. He plays an in-your-face game, and the guys on the team feed off that. And they're going to be a tough team to play against.
Gavrick fires a shot that goes off the blocker, then down to the ice and covered by Harvey. And I'm sure they're going to try and feed Gavrick a little bit as he hunts for that third goal.
Gavrick with 2, Ruiz with 2 as well. But getting back to the importance of this upcoming series against Elmira, this is 9 points that's up for grabs.
Yeah.
The teams are only separated by 4 points right now in the standings. Elmira and Delaware are currently tied at 4 apiece with about 8 minutes remaining in the third period. So another Eastern Division tilt, but this is probably the most important weekend of the season coming up so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's a team that, the two teams are going to play each other a ton, and you're going to want to, set a tone. And, especially with the amount of times, like I said, amount of times you play against each other. You want to set the tone a little bit. A little bit of a rivalry started last weekend. The Saturday game got a little heated. Playing the same team 3 times, they go 2 directions. Nothing happens or everything happens.
Well, we're seeing it here this weekend as a shot gets swallowed up. Even just playing each other.
Face-off.
That's true. And even just playing each other twice, we've seen so many fights here tonight. Animosity can build overnight.
You know what? Well, think about it. That Red Wings Colorado Avalanche rivalry started with 1 hit.
Yeah.
1 hit changed the dynamic of 2 franchises for years.
That's true.
So, I mean, that's all it takes.
Here's a centering pass over to Steve Mealy. His shot is patted aside into the near side corner.
Like the fact that we're getting pucks, cross ice, not taking too many bad chances like that one there. But we're getting good opportunities.
Hayden Way with a long shot that goes into the bunny's teeth on the sweater of Tom McGuckin, and he holds.
Good positioning on Tom there. Guy coming down the left side, stick on the inside as a righty. Tommy was on top of the paint there, presented himself well. Good save out of Tommy there. He's really settled it in, and you love to see that, especially out of a goalie with not up there in the win column yet. You love seeing the way he's playing right now. He's really getting a little more comfortable. I like seeing it.
Nick, as a goaltender, I mean, McGuckin, he didn't see a shot for 14 minutes through the first period, through the second. How do you stay warm back there? How do you really keep your head in the game? You're a professional, so it's your job, but it's still got to be difficult.
With what I always did, I stay vocal, let guys know, in the D zone, try to get involved as much as you possibly can without getting too involved. That's what you try to do.
Levesque over to Bronner. It was intercepted and carried up by Tony Lampo. The Battle Creek Rumblebees are missing one of their bigger offensive contributors in Karndeep Nat, who has been in street clothes for the entirety of the third period. As carrying it up the ice is Johnny Ruiz with Nicola Levesque, a 2-on-2, 3-on-2 if they hurry. Brett Menton was joining the rush, but that pass across the ice was picked off.
Really like the play by Freeman there, separating, just taking away a scoring chance.
Here's Menton trying to poke it home on the near side post, and he lost his footing. He paid the price for the scoring chance, but he still got a shot off. Here's Kyle Gonzalez entering in on the left side. Gonzalez on one hand plays it towards the net. That's covered up by Harvey. A quick whistle as it was still loose in front.
Yeah, I think that was another situation where the referee lost sight of the puck. I'm not sure if Harvey ever really had it in his possession, but 7:07, it's a 10-2 game. I don't mind the idea by the referee. You want to keep this one moving.
Yeah, but at the same time, nothing wrong with blowing the whistle. It's going to take, we're going to add a minute to this game time, but at the same time, you're eliminating opportunity for extracurricular. Guys are frustrated right now. You just want to, I totally get the move the game along, but at the same time, just diffuse every situation you possibly can. And the linesman did a great job getting involved in there.
And to your point earlier, in a game like this, you want to stay healthy. You don't want to get a suspension or anything silly like that.
Stay out of the garbage. Stay out of the garbage. Just move it right along.
Crossing the way, Vlad Gavrik throws a hard check and brings Bush Anderson down to the ice. 6:40 to go in regulation time. The Hat-Tricks lead 10-2 on the Battle Creek Rumblebees. Bolin Porter loses his footing. Gavrik picks up the puck and leads Bolin Porter over to Kasich on the right side. Kasich has to get around Steele. Leads Bolin Porter, crossing the way to Gavrik. Chips it just wide of the net. Harvey came well out of his net to play the puck. Here's Kasich shielding the puck. He's using his reach to keep it on the outside. Mealy holds, flips it up into the air. Gloving it down is Bolin Porter. Taking a swing with one hand, trying to shuffleboard it along the boards, but it was intercepted by the Battle Creek Rumblebees. And here's Noskov in the neutral zone, brought down by the stick of Gavrik, and that'll be called for a trip.
Kind of figured that one was coming there. Get a stick in the guy's skates. Coach isn't going to be too happy with seeing a stick infraction penalty such as a trip, 150 odd feet away from your net. But it's one of those things right now where you don't worry about it, you kill it off. And that's the mentality he has right now with Tuma, Bronner, Mealy, Carter on the ice. Pretty good penalty kill unit right now, staying with it. Mealy staying off the back post there, hoping for a face-off win. Nice bump to him, and we can go down 200 feet. And we have it.
There's Mealy right on cue. Lifting it up, looking down for Carter Shinkarik, but a good bat out of the air by Vinny Suzy.
Like Tony Romo over here. He knew exactly what was going to happen.
He's calling the shot. Phil Bronner on the far side circle, settles it down, feels a little bit of heat, kisses it off the glass, and gets it down the full 200.
Would have liked to see him go behind the net there. Give it to Mealy, slow it down a little bit. Just need a few more seconds off the clock. Now we're going to see their controlled breakout, see where their guys are swinging. 1-4 checker here. We're 1-2-1. Let them gain the zone. Now we're going to want them to circle the net, eat some more time up, but a great job killing penalties right now.
Howie is on the outside. He's got Martin Tuma out there with Steve Mealy, Nicola Levesque, and Casper Dierson, as now the Battle Creek Rumblebees lose the handle on the puck, and Nicoletti was forced to re-rack. Final 5 minutes of play here in regulation time as a Let's Go Hat Tricks chant comes up from the Hat Tricks faithful. The Hat City came out in full force tonight to cheer on the Danbury Hat Tricks against the Battle Creek Rumblebees, and they'll be back home again on Friday and Saturday, December 6th and 7th against the Delaware Thunder as they pay their first trip to Danbury in franchise history, another team jump-starting in the FPHL.
And, I give credit to the Delaware Thunder staff. I mean, the arena that they have, it isn't very large. It's previously known as the home ice for Salisbury University's club hockey team. It's on the state fairgrounds in Delaware.
Yeah.
They've added capacity. They're still adding capacity. And so far, the fans have come out and they've responded.
Cutting to the net is Lampo. He loses the handle on it. But you are right. They are selling out every game. It's just that a sellout is only about 650 as puck looked like it went up into the netting, and they're letting him play.
It went off the stanchion and came back at him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, normally it'll come out at like a 90-degree angle. I've never seen it come right back.
That's why I was confused. I've never seen it come out at that angle. I didn't know what it might have hit off of.
Yeah, and while plays down in the Rumble Creek or in the Rumblebees end, I'm taking a look at the arena staff, taking a look at that glass, figuring out how did that happen.
We've seen a lot of quirky bounces here in the Danbury Arena. Quirky. We choose to find them endearing.
Yes. I can think of a certain former coach here in Danbury who would be going crazy right now on something like that.
Sure wasn't Chris or Dave.
No, definitely was not.
Back out into the Hat Tricks end, Aaron Atwell will retrieve with 3:05 to go in regulation
nice
time.
Play by Gonzalez there, giving Atwell a little bit of room, getting in front of their player there. Again, that's part of playing the right way. Lopsided score, keeping your D partner, out of jeopardy, and that's what we were talking about earlier. That was a great play by him.
Looping it around behind the end line, Kasich chases after it. He's out there with Ruiz and Levesque on the forward lines. Levesque trying to kick it to himself, but it will be dug out of the far side corner by Way. Looping it over to the far side, trying to get around to Atwell. And here comes Noskov, one-on-one on Gonzalez, stops short, feeds it to the slot. McElroy Scott couldn't get a shot off, and Aaron Atwell will cut it off, and back the other way in transition come the Hat Tricks. Kasich enters in onside, drops it back to Atwell, has it on his backhand. Backdoor pass, and stoned by Harvey. Oh, what a toe save.
Yeah, great save by the goalkeeper there. That's one of those situations. Lopsided game, a couple of minutes left. It's easy to say, heck with it, let's get out of here. But, he's competing. He's playing hard. Give Battle Creek credit. They're still finishing their hits. They're playing hard. I love to see it. Love to see it.
And for Will Harvey, you've given up a couple goals. Your team is clearly down. But you know what? This is still your first professional game.
What was the score?
That's a great save.
What was the score after 2?
8-2.
There you go.
There you go.
Martin Tuma crosses the way to Steve Mealy. Back over to Tuma. Tuma takes a step in, redirection in front, and goes wide of the net. Look how many hat tricks are in front of the netminder there. They're still trying to get the dirty goal in front.
I don't mind the play in the right way, as long as you're not taking dumb chances.
No, absolutely not.
And you're going to hear about it. Oh, they're running up the score, this, that, and the other. Not seeing it that way. Running up the score would mean, leaving guys at the far blue line when the puck's in your zone. Your D jumping into the rush. D aren't doing that.
Right.
Guys are not hanging back 125 feet from the puck. Guys are supporting the puck. Guys are playing the right way. They're supporting the puck. We have a little bit of action here. Guys are having a conversation.
Howie and Shinkarik, who Shinkarik dropped the gloves earlier in the game.
Yeah. Emotions are getting the best of the guys right now, but there is a lopsided score, but the guys are to a point, being pros about it. They're not, showing up the opponent, which I love to see that.
Right, there's not big sellies going on after each goal.
No, none of that. But Battle Creek, I love the fact that they're competing. And that's it's a moral victory right now. I get it. But at the same time, you look at the record, you start building off those moral victories. And they are. They're playing 60 minutes. Not worried about the scoreboard. They're playing 60. That's the most important thing. It's good for the league. It's good for the guys. It's good for their franchise.
I'm sure they're not opposed to feeling a bit, angry.
Oh, my. There needs to be a response here.
And there's Gavrik dropping the gloves and trying to drag him back to his feet to answer the call.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say that when you're Battle Creek and you're losing your first 11 games of the season and you're down 10-2 in that 11th game.
There's a frustration level.
Yeah, it's easier to get triggered.
At the same time, you have to be aware of who's on the ice, where you are on the ice. Remember, playing the right way. You do not want to put anybody in harm's way. Just spoke about that with Gonzalez giving Atwell a couple extra seconds so he doesn't worry about the forechecker coming at him. Same thing goes for passes. You don't want to put, one of your line mates in jeopardy. Was the hit a little high and a little greasy? Yes. But at the same time, you don't want to put any of your teammates in jeopardy, whether it be a errant pass, a bad bounce. But, again, know who's on the ice, know where they are on the ice, and, be aware of the score,
Nathan Margitz will be the one taking a trip to the sin bin with Vladislav Gavrik. So Gavrik's chase for the hat trick is officially over as his 2-minute penalty.
I'd rather have him stick up for his line mate than get a hat trick.
Oh, that's very true. That's very true. Has 1:25 to go in regulation time as Gavrik and Margit's evenings are respectively over. Aaron Atwell will carry it in on the left side, dropping it back to Johnny Ruiz. Ruiz with a wrist shot that's blocked in front by the legs of Bush Anderson. Atwell keeps it in the zone, gets a down low to Bronner, looking for the backdoor pass to Johnny Ruiz and couldn't connect. Final minute of regulation time here at Danbury Arena as the Hat Tricks are well on their way to a 10-2 victory over the Battle Creek Rumble Bees. They'll be back in action Wednesday night. You can tune into the Elmira Enforcers YouTube channel to catch live coverage of that Wednesday night. And then on Friday and Saturday after everyone's Thanksgiving holiday.
Here's the other thing about playing your guys and playing, running the score up. You only have 18 skaters.
That's
Two of
true.
them are goalies.
That's true.
So, and the other thing is, it's a long season. You don't want to give some guys too much ice. You don't want to give some guys too much little. Been rolling the 3 lines. Obviously, some of the guys make a much bigger, presence.
Scramble on the net mouth, and good job by Harvey to keep it out as he dove headlong. I believe he lost his stick in the process.
Yeah, some of the guys have a bigger presence, on the ice when they are on the ice than others. But, he's been rolling the 3 lines here. From an offensive standpoint, the, Phil Bronner line there with Levesque and Ruiz.
Well, when you've got two lines consistently generating goals, what are you going to do? Play the third line the whole time?
Tonight we've mentioned their line a lot because they've done a lot right.
Right.
Every line's pulling the rope the right direction. Love seeing it. It's a big building block for the franchise. And, you have to be happy with the performance. What I'm most happy about is the guys played 60 minutes. Tommy got his first win, and we got a sweep on a weekend, first one of the season, and that's the most important thing right now.
10-2 is your final score as the buzzer sounds here at Danbury Arena. We want to sincerely thank everyone who tuned in on the YouTube channel of the Danbury Hat Tricks. Be sure to subscribe for live coverage. We'll be back on the air Friday, December 6th and Saturday, December 7th against the Delaware Thunder. And Nick, thanks so much for filling in for us on color here today. Our regular guy, Jack O'Mara, was off calling football in Rhode Island, so what do you know? We called the emergency backup broadcaster up to the booth.
It happens.
And what do you know? He did a great job as always.
Thanks for having me, fellas. Really appreciate it. And you know what? Got a nice pair of wins, and things are looking good.
Well, if we're going to put up 10 goals every time you're in the booth, we got to get you up here every game.
Oh, jeez. We'll see.
We have a celebration going on at center ice, the Hoist the Barrel, celebrating the spirit of hard work with Litchfield Distillery. It'll be Matthias Kasich, the recipient of the barrel tonight, as he hoists it over his head in celebration. And Zach, there are so many things to take away from tonight's game. What is your immediate takeaway after a 10-2 victory?
Well, especially listening to Nick through this game, 10-2 victory, it feels good. We're on to next week. We're on to Elmira.
It does add another element to the broadcast, because Nick is keeping it grounded, and he's keeping it from a player's perspective, because as a broadcaster, you're up here happy-go-lucky that your team is up 10-2 on the home broadcast, but you're reminded that a coach and a player can never be satisfied.
No.
It doesn't matter if it's 1-0 or 100-0.
You know what? Not to cut you off, there's one time they can be satisfied, and it's when they're lifting the championship trophy at the end of the season.
And that's exactly what Dylan Kelly said when we were interviewing him at practice the other day. He said, where do I want to be in April? I want to be celebrating at the center ice, hoisting a trophy and getting a ring on my finger. It's the mindset that is trickling down, I'm sure, as you can attest, Nick, in the locker room from the top down.
Yeah, that was a big emphasis on the season. Older guys, in the lineup, there's a handful of us. But the most important thing is, to finish the game on, or finish the season with a win. One team gets to do it, and, 9 other teams are going to have a longer off season. Some of those wins are easier to deal with, obviously, but, I was fortunate enough to be a part of the club last year that lost the last game of the season, and trust me, it doesn't go away. It never will go away. But, that's the most important thing is, sticking with the process and grinding it out. And, like we were talking about earlier with the playoff format, does the best team win a best of 3? Not all the time.
That's true.
We know it.
That's true.
All it takes is, could be a hot goalie, a weird bounce, a bad offside call. There's so many things that change the dynamic of a playoff best of 7 series, let alone a best of 3. So, we're building for that. You have guys that have won championships. Bronner with Watertown, Atwell with Watertown, Levesque with Watertown, in different seasons.
McCreary won one too.
Billy, he's won a couple. One in Huntsville as a player, New Jersey as a player. He's played in the playoffs. A lot of guys have, contributed to win the last game of the season, or of the playoff, I guess you'd say. But that's the end result. This is a developmental league. You're developing to move on, move up. But at the same time, the end result's still the same. Nobody says, oh, I want to play in this league this year. I want to go to this league. I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to score 50. Here to win a championship, and then you set your personals.
Yeah.
You set your team goal, then you set your personals. But you have to remember your personal goals, because if you hit your personal goals, everyone's hitting their personal goals, you're winning that last game of the year.
Yeah.
It's part of that, this guy's a piece of the puzzle, this guy's a piece of the puzzle, that cliche. But realistically, it's your piece. It's what you bring. And everyone's is a piece of the puzzle, but it's just a matter of your piece. You have to control your piece. You can't try to do too much. You have to stick with your boundaries, stay in your lane. And we have a team that, you hear there was not panic, but there was panic.
There was uneasiness for sure.
Let's just lay it on the table.
Yeah.
We were 2-4-2 3 days ago.
Yeah.
We're in a social media generation. People like, I don't read it. Yes, you do.
And especially with a fan base like Danbury, as vocal as they are.
Everybody reads it. The fans are passionate. The fans are vocal. That's great. You love it as a player. Was there panic? Not really. When we won that second game, it was 2-3-2. 2-3-2 is a hell of a lot better than 2-4-2.
Yeah.
And the way it went last Saturday, wasn't exactly ideal.
Sure.
You
That's one
know,
way to
so
put it.
yeah. So I mean, there are changes that were made. There are changes that are being made. You can always improve. Now, 500 Hockey Club after 10 games. What is it? 60-game season?
Yeah. It's a
You
nice
know?
building block, at least.
Yeah. 500 hockey team, that means we're in the playoff positioning right now. You don't want to look too far ahead, but the games are a lot easier. The points are a lot easier to come by now than they are in January, than they are in February.
Yep.
Moving forward. But, there wasn't a panic, but there was. There was some rumblings. But again, new franchise, new organization, new coaching staff. Biggest thing of everything, new culture. We are a new culture. You hear about, the Trashers did this, the Trashers did that. We're not the Trashers.
Yeah, no.
And that was also 15 plus years ago now.
The Whalers did this, the Whalers did that. We're not the Whalers.
Yeah.
The Titans did this, we're not the Titans. We're the Hat-Tricks.
Yeah. The fan base knows the game of hockey, but they don't know this specific organization, this specific group.
We're new.
Yeah.
We're new. Our ownership is new. Our coach is new. The players are all new. Yeah, you have some veteran guys. Yeah, you have some young guys. But we're all new. Now, here's the other thing you have to take not take into consideration, but just appreciate. Mentor. Look at the start they're having.
Oh, heck yeah.
That is the only team that is back from last year. When you really think about it. Carolina lost a ton of their championship pieces.
Yep.
They're elsewhere. Columbus, starting out.
Yep.
Danbury, starting out. Watertown, they were back. New coach, so a new culture. Danville, new coach, new culture. Andre in Carolina, he's got a lot of the pieces back, but it's a new culture because it's a lot of the fabric of your club is elsewhere. Delaware, new organization. Battle Creek, new organization. Port Huron, a lot of their core is still there. They're a franchise that's been around. They have some older guys. Their core is still there. Coach is still there, but Mentor brought back a lot of guys.
Yeah.
The chemistry's there. They're the one team where Elmira, they're another team. A lot of their core is back, but a lot of their main guys are new. So you're playing with new players. There was a lot of turnover with them. They have a lot of new players. New culture. Culture's the same, but it's brushed a little differently. Picture's the same. The strokes of the brush are a little different. But Mentor having a great start to their year. A lot of the core back from last year. Coach, systems, everything's back. It's their second year together. Doing a great job. They're doing a great job with what they have. I don't know their schedule, but at the same time, everybody's new. Every culture's new. Every team is new for the most part. Staff is new. So, 10 games, 500, it's not where you like to be, but it's not where you hate to be. That's the most important.
All right, well, that'll do it here from Danbury Arena. We want to sincerely thank everyone who tuned in on the Danbury Hat-Tricks YouTube channel, and of course a big thank you to you, Nick Nieder, joining us in the broadcast booth here today. Greatly appreciate all of your contributions here this evening.
My contributions are very minimum compared to no, seriously, compared to what you guys do. You guys work in the office. You're a major part of the plan here. The players, you play. That's it. You play. Do some community service, but the main thing is you play. That's your job. You guys sell tickets, sell sponsorships, get people in the door. You were working on tickets. There was an issue with the tickets earlier.
Yeah?
You were down there mucking it up, 10 minutes for game time. You're down there putting out fires.
Jack often misses the first period because he's busy working the tickets.
That's a very good
No,
point.
but you see what I mean? Like, you guys are doing so much where the players greatly appreciate it. I know the fans appreciate it. The fans, the families, the friends listening right now, they appreciate it. So you guys keep doing what you're doing. You're making the wheel turn right now, and as you can see, bouncing back. 3 out of the last 4 games are wins. It's going in the right direction. Things are moving right along, and thank you guys more for all your hard work. Really appreciate it.
That's extraordinarily kind of you, Nick. Thank you very much. On that note, we bid you a pleasant farewell. Final score 10-2 from the Danbury Arena. For Zach McGinnis and Nick Niedert, I'm Casey Bryant. Have a good night.